Howdy, your considerable bulk here, doing something very late and usual at the same time. We're having another considerable conversation. It is episode 4, the top 25 movies of all time. Joining me today, as ever, are two of the greatest minds we could scrabble together in a very quick hurry. They include, to my top left, my top left, Team Considerable, Harplarp arrives when he means to. Would you like to say hello?
Hello everyone, how goes it? How are you doing this evening?
Wonderful. Please confirm in the chat that you can hear everybody, so that we... Ooh, they've changed both their facial hair game too. Ooh, this is very true. This is
observant.
Very true. Yeah. And above me, the man on top, right there, Team Considerable, Petulant Panda. Would you like to say hello?
How's it going, guys?
Super duper. I can hear you all. This is a great time to be alive. All right, so top 25 movies of all time. I'm going to ask for Harplarp to please run through the order of play and the rules of engagement.
Okay, yes, so this is just like our last list of 25 that we did, in case you didn't watch it. The rules are simple. We have each compiled a list of our top 25 favourite films of all time. Not what we consider 25 best films of all time, just our top 25 favourites. And so there's going to be some questionable choices on these lists for sure. We're each going to run through our 25th favourite film and say a little piece about it. And then I'm going to put a poll in the chat, and everyone in the chat will have 1 minute to vote on which film is going to win the 25th slot. And then once the vote is locked in and the film is there, it's in, then we'll move on to the 24th slot and repeat the whole process.
I love this setup. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, we have got apologies today from Team Considerable Iraklis, the man, the myth, the Tinder legend himself. He's still only a human being, and all of that frantic right swiping has left him, I hate to say it, but without strength tonight. So he is taking a well-earned rest from his usual exertions and is going to be joining us for the top 10 next week. Today is 25 to 11. So, without further ado, how are we going to... Should we just flip a three-sided coin to see who goes first? I think, actually, it's Panda's turn, because Harplarp, you went first last time. Out.
I'm cool with that. Start where?
Yeah, we did. And then we'll go clockwise again, if that's cool with you guys.
Alright, sweet. So, my number 25, first off, to kick it off, is Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. It's an absolutely genius. I don't know whether it's classed as black comedy, but it's almost like a bit of it takes the mickey out of typical like London gangster films, because it shows you like a funny side to all of it and that, and like things going wrong and that, and the way the story looms together, it just weaves in and out of itself perfectly. You've got like 3 or 4 different storylines, if I remember correctly, all sort of interweaving with each other, and it's just a really well-made film. It's really funny. It's just a great watch, basically. So it kind of speaks for itself. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels is my first choice at number 25. So
Guy Ritchie classic, and probably Jason Statham's second finest hour. If I'm
maybe.
It's not going to be a Fast and Furious movie,
but it is a Guy Ritchie classic. Definitely a Guy Ritchie classic.
Okay, but yes, absolute classic. I love that movie. That's a really good shout. That's a super good shout, actually.
Strong kickoff there.
It is. I may not be able to say my other one then. Okay, so 25. 25 for me is Dredd 2012. Now,
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that? Then you've missed out.
I haven't seen it. I've heard it's good.
You haven't seen it? It's brilliant. So I hope having both of my colleagues, unfortunately, not seeing one of the greatest movies of all time, I hope that the chat have, and it influences their voting in some way, shape, or form. Now, sat over yonder on top of the cabinet, the second DVD case we've got over there, I've got the first 15 volumes of Judge Dredd, the comic, and it's something that I love to... Some people enjoy on an annual basis every Christmas getting Lord of the Rings out and reading it with the fam. I like a bit of Judge Dredd. So, Judge Dredd was the comic that I grew up with. He is my favourite comic book hero of all time. The unique thing about Judge Dredd is in the comic, he is just a dude. He's just a dude like Batman, except he doesn't have the money or the resources or the skills. He's just a dude trying to do the best he can in Mega City 1. And he ages with the comic. The comic that got released pretty much around when I was born and has been going ever since. Judge Dredd is now old man Dredd. He is a really old man.
They have paperback now.
I had to, coming back from the comic store, having given the newsagent my threepence halfpenny, and coming back with a box full of slates. Yes, it was.
They just gave you a stone tablet.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, back then, obviously, comics very much so had to come in bubble wrap because we needed it. So no, so influential. And what about Judge Dredd? The hyper violence as well as the environment that it's in. It was influential and precursory to everything that you see later on. Think of cyberpunk right now, and that's the futurescape that it's sort of set in. Think of something like all those sorts of things. So cyberpunk, Blade Runner, Akira, Neo Tokyo, all of those sorts of things. These were all
Mario Brothers.
The Cars universe, yes, all of these things where this horrific dystopian future interspersed with hyper-violence. That's why Dredd is my number 25, because it's not only a great movie, it's Carl Urban is insanely good as Dredd. They do the right thing, not like the Sylvester Stallone one where they lift his helmet. You never see Judge Dredd's face. You never ever see Judge Dredd's face. That's a thing. It's very faithful to the comic. If you watch the movie, it's super faithful to the comic. The violence is really well done, and you really get a glimpse of Judge Dredd's character, which is a hard-bitten cop, but whose heart is in the right place. He does everything to uphold the law and protect the city that he has been born to create.
I am the law!
Yes, I am the law. And I get
That's
to
obviously the other film.
Yeah, so you've got I am the law, and how it's meant to be done. I am the law. So that's how it's meant to be. That's how I've always imagined it. I have returned cold and raining and not suitable conditions for a bike ride. Can I get a recap, Mr. Bulk? We've had Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels from Panda, and Dredd of 2012 from myself. And now we're having to evade the Tinder legend, and we're going to go up to Mr. Harperlarp.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bulk. Now we have we've been thoroughly educated on the comics of Judge Dredd. My number 25 pick is Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
That's a good shout.
Because I loved Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey when I was a kid. I mean, Excellent Adventure is awesome, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But Bogus Journey just beats it. Playing death, all these games, and the Grim Reaper's like, best 2 out of 3, because they beat him at every game they play. They're playing Twister with the Grim Reaper. 3 out of 5? Yeah, they die. They go to heaven, they meet Einstein, and then Death gives his classic line that I always quote, but no one ever knows what it's from, where he goes, Butch and Sundance, the early years. Yeah. And they meet Station, the Martian aliens who help them build the good robot Us's to fight the bad robot Us's. You actually get to see the future where everyone's wearing all that cool foam clothes that look totally impractical. It's just an absolute riot, that film. It's great fun, and it ends with a song that when I heard it as a kid, I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it, which is God Gave Rock and Roll to You.
Rock and roll to ya.
Exactly, that song is so good. And they created world peace using their magic. Using their music, rather. Not their magic. I guess it is kind of magic. So, I mean, they go to hell. They see the drill sergeant who goes, "You're silky boys. Silk comes from the butts of Chinese worms." It's just full of legendary lines, man. Legendary lines. And I think that's basically all I can say about Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So that, I think, wraps up number 25. Shall we start the poll?
Yes, Iraklis has just joined the chat. He's managed to summon up enough strength to lift his keys onto a keyboard. Let me just get this done right. Where's the chat? Sorry, where's the poll? Give me
the poll. The poll is now live.
There we go. And going in there, I'm going to submit there are 3 very, very worthy films there. Look at that. It's equal right now. Voting looking super, super tight. Let's go, Dredd. Thank you very much. Someone's actually seen it.
Come on, everyone. We have to be excellent to each other. Let's go. Bill and Ted with the world.
Am I spelling Dredd correctly? Yes, you are.
I can't quote Lock, Stock because it's full of swear words.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it is very good, to be fair.
Lock, Stock is a great movie. It was one of my upbringing movies. Fantastic stuff. It was. I didn't need to. It wasn't didn't form my upbringing. I just had to look around. But come on, let's go. Haven't seen any of them? Then vote with your heart, and your heart says comic book hero.
Listen to your heart.
Yes, it's in. It's in.
We're gonna have to toss a coin.
Oh my goodness! Well, we could just get.
Or are we doing a revote?
Yeah, you could get a revote. We can.
Yes.
I think it's probably fairer to go revote. Dredd,
yes, I'll do a
Bogus Journey. I'm gonna really eulogize over Bogus Journeys. Bogus Journey is a great movie. It's a fantastic movie. It's not my personal.
Is it between Lock, Stock and Bogus Journey?
No, between Bogus Journey and Dredd.
No one voted for Lock, Stock. It was only me that voted for that.
I would have voted for it.
Disappointed!
If it was, I'll tell you what, if that was just between Bogus Journeys and Lock, Stock, I would have voted for Lock, Stock. Yeah. But in the moment, Dredd is pulling into the lead.
The film no one has seen is going to win.
Well, you two haven't seen it, and you two have missed out.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen either of them.
I need to. You've never seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
I've never seen any Bill and Ted film.
Let's go.
You're fired. I haven't seen the third one, but I want to because the first two so good.
Chat, thank you very much for coming to the stream, and we're going to end it right there, having got a W for... No, I'm just...
Danny Siddiq saying, I thought Bill and Ted had an excellent adventure. They did. The Bogus Journey was the sequel.
There you go. So Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey were... Yeah, Bogus Journey being the sequel. Indeed.
What's the newest one called?
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
That's the one.
Where they have to, they get harangued by someone. Yeah, they get harangued by someone from the future because they haven't yet written the song that saves the world. So they have to write the song that saves the world, and it looks fun. So Dredd, just Dredd on its own.
Just Dredd.
Even though they've got to differentiate. Dredd is the winner. It is technically the 25th favorite film of all time, based on what you said on what we said.
And I've got my high-tech recording device right here. Okay.
You sure do.
There we go.
I need to close that window.
This is my original list of 25. I don't want to allow anybody to freeze frame and see what it is. And these are the ones that didn't make it. Look at that. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. Chat. I like you. I love you, chat. You're brilliant. You're brilliant. Okay, so number 24, and this is going to be one of those ones where I really hope you guys have seen it. And there's a greater chance, I fear, of my colleagues having seen it than some of the people who frequent the chat. And my 24th favourite film of all time is Airplane. We need to get this. We need to get down and get this man to a hospital.
Danny Siddiq sat there like, what is that?
Yeah. Hospital? What is it? It's a big building. They keep
I've never seen it, but it's a spoof film like Spaceballs and Naked Gun, isn't it?
Indeed. So
is that the whole and Don't Call Me Shirley?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't Call Me Shirley is all from
that's Naked
Airplane.
Gun, I think.
No, yeah, you're right.
Oh.
No. Don't Call Me Shirley is from Airplane.
It's Airplane.
It's Airplane.
Yeah.
It's Airplane. Yeah. Because we have this man's got a fever. We need to get him to a hospital, and they're in the air in the plane. Hospital? What is it? Surely you can't be serious. That's what he said. No, first of all, it's hospital. What is it? It's the big people they keep sick people in. But that's not important right now. And the other one, and then he will say something and say, "Surely you can't be serious. I'm deadly serious, and don't call me Shirley." These are
classic lines.
That being said, I think Harp's maybe onto a point there. I might be getting my Naked Guns and my Airplanes mixed up, but let's leave it at that. So of the three, for me, a lot of these movies have made my top 25. Spaceballs, Airplane, and Naked Gun, etc. So not top 25, my top list. But if I was to think of one of them to put down, I went for what started it all off, and Airplane kicked it all off. And that whole the whole Leslie Nielsen slapstick comedy affair, the dry humour, it's slapstick meets dry humour, and that's what I loved about it. And that was one of the movies I just grew up with. And there was Mrs. Bulk has never seen Airplane, okay, and I and other karate colleagues would be quoting lines from Airplane and other movies like that, and she wouldn't have a clue. So I had to get a YouTube montage, and I just showed her a couple of clips. She's okay. I'll watch a clip. The video was like half an hour long, and she watched the whole video. She was immediately hooked.
That's the thing with films like that. You can just watch a small slice and just find it immediately funny. And it is just, like you say, just the dry humour, just the complete deadpan delivery of Leslie Nielsen, mixed with the absolute insanity of like slapstick visual gags.
Yes, over the top humour. It's got my. I mean, I don't know where over the top humour has ever influenced me as a person, but or the dryness. So.
that dry British wit.
Exactly. You could say it was super influential. I'm so glad that an American movie was able to capture the essence of what is British life. Anyway, that's my number 24. Go for it, Harpalot, please.
Okay, yeah, this one, my friend couldn't believe that I put this on the list based on some of the things that I have in my honourable mentions list. But I loved this film so much when I was a kid. Short Circuit 2.
Oh.
Number 5 is Alive. I think that's a quote from the first film.
Yes, that's the first movie.
Yeah, Johnny 5. Oh, he goes to New York and he reads Pinocchio and he's like, "Am I real?" If you don't know what it is, it's in the first Short Circuit film. There was a bunch of war robots made. I was going to say War Machine, but you might think it's
not
a Marvel property.
Not that War Machine. No,
not that War Machine.
Not
a bunch of War
Cheadle.
Machines. One of them gets struck by lightning, becomes sentient, and just has a desire for like learning and finding out all the. Yeah, he's always like input, and he reads books super fast and everything. Short Circuit 1 was good. Short Circuit 2, barring the racist caricature of Ben Javeri, which I didn't know when I was a kid. I didn't know. Okay, so just let me go easy on that. But barring that, which obviously doesn't look good with today's optics and probably shouldn't have looked good back then, Short Circuit 2 is just a fun family romp for the whole family. Johnny 5 is fun for the kids. He's quoting things and he's loud and he's in your face, and it's got one of the most traumatic scenes in a film I've ever seen. When he gets beaten almost to death, he gets fatally, because he does end up die right at the end, he gets fatally wounded by these 3 mobsters because they know that he's a witness and he can identify them. So that whole scene is so traumatic. It's in slow motion. You see them going at him with crowbars. At one point, one of the bad guys hits his battery with the crowbar, and you just see all this battery fluid just fly up and spatter at the guy like blood. And the guy like looked at himself almost as if to say, "What am I doing?" And they nailed Johnny in his eye, and his face is very expressive with his eyebrows and stuff. And then he uses his little radio transmitter to control some remote control planes nearby and fly into the bad guys and chase them off. And then it just cuts to this shot of him lying on the floor, not moving, with a dead look in his face, and just seeing this timer start counting down, saying like time until critical failure, and he's just that scene is messed up. But yeah, Short Circuit 2, it's a fun film.
Is that the scene we were talking about in the group chat the other day, Harps, or is it not?
No.
Okay. Because that one got me, but then I cry at everything. So
it is good. It is kind of tear jerky, but my final honourable mention, I will be telling a tale.
Okay, cool.
Try and keep it
Look
kind of
forward to
short,
that
but
one.
yeah, it's going to be good. So yeah, Short Circuit 2 is my number 24 choice.
Nice. It's a good shout, but it's not Short Circuit 1.
It does. Short Circuit 2 doesn't have
It's better
that
than Short
guy.
Circuit one.
What's that guy? The guy with no personality from Police Academy? Steve Guttenberg.
Oh,
He's not in the
God,
second one.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, that's that. If it's choosing one or choosing one without Steve Guttenberg, who was in every 80s movie, I would choose the one without Steve Guttenberg. So yeah, good shout. Clearly the super.
What's your number 24? Sorry, Bulk. I forgot.
It was a long time ago. Airplane.
Of course. Okay.
Alright, sweet. And my number 24 is pretty much the exact opposite of Hubbs's. What you were saying about dystopian futures with your last one, with Dredd, it's my number 24. I don't know if anyone's going to have seen this, because it's a bit... I've only seen it recently as well. I think it only came out like a year or so ago. It's a film called Upgrade. I kept telling Harps to watch it because I think he'd love it, because if anyone that's played Cyberpunk would absolutely love this film. It's like an ultra-violent thriller film, a bit like Blade Runner, but yeah, the violence in it is absolutely incredible if you're into that sort of thing. It's just an ultra-violent film all the way through. It's basically set in the future. Everyone's all got their automated cars and all that, and they've all got like bionic upgrades and stuff, and it's... I don't want to spoil the film because I really want Harps to watch it. But there's a... It's about AI and all that sort of stuff, and I'm not going to explain this very well without spoiling it.
Oh, it's got Matey Boy in it. Venom. What's his name?
Out of no, that's not Tom Hardy. It's got the guy that in Prometheus. Have you seen that? It's Shaw's husband from Prometheus.
What the?
I have.
Shaw's
Overly
husband.
well known.
What the
He's
guy
the
that
first one that
turns
gets started. David puts the stuff in his drink and he.
Oh,
gets,
that dude! Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that
basically he's the main character, but yeah, he basically at the start. I'm going to spoil a little bit at the start of it. Basically, he's in his car with his wife. He hates technology. Basically, he like shuns it all, and he's got like
He's
an
my
old
dad.
American muscle car.
He's me.
And everyone else is driving around in these automated cars that are all controlled by AI and that. And he's like, nah, I'm not having any of that. Basically, goes and delivers this old classic American muscle car to this like really rich billionaire, and he's trying to get him into all this technology side of thing. On the way home, he's in his missus' car, which is an automated car. It has a crash, and there's some stuff that happens. She gets murdered, basically. And then it's all about him finding out why it wasn't just a random mugging. He has to find out why she was murdered, and I can't explain it, but it's a great film. And if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend you go and see it, because it's all action. As soon as the first little bit's done, and his missus gets murdered, then it's just all action all the way through, as he basically hunts down and gets revenge.
I'm watching the trailer for it right now, and I just saw him. It looks like he became the technology that he despises, and someone broke into his house, and he's like, it looks like he's inadvertently fighting the guy. It kind of looks like a comedy.
Do you know what it is?
Sound on it.
It is. Well, after they murder his wife, he gets paralyzed by these people, and he needs an AI chip in his spine to be able to control his body, and then the AI takes over, and he's like becomes like a passenger in his own body.
Yes.
But I can't really explain it unless you've seen it. It is a great movie, and if you haven't seen Upgrade, go and watch it, basically, is all I can say to that. So I'm not going to get any votes here, but there's a recommendation there. Upgrade, go watch it. It's brilliant.
There's a very hefty recommendation, and it must be to make your top 25, but there we go. Welcome home, by the way, to Mashup 28, yo. Happy belated birthday. Please do make sure you say that Mashup is 28 years old. He's clearly 29 now. I mean, he's been 28.
Yeah, he's got to change his name.
He's been 28 for like the 4 years I've known him. So anyway, happy belated birthday, old pal, old buddy, old pal over there. It's our Carlos. So yeah, there we go. That's what we're voting on. The poll is gonna go live
now. Right, don't forget everyone, vote for your films. Vote for your films. I am not going to vote for Upgrade, but I am going to vote for watching Upgrade. Panda has sold it to me.
I really think you should. You'd love it. You'll love it, Harps.
Yes, I think I will. I thought it was Tom Hardy because it kind of looked like him in the trailer. But then when you mentioned, when you mentioned it was the guy from Prometheus, I was like, okay, I need to unerase Prometheus from my memory to remember who that guy is.
It's that dude, not Hardy. Yeah, it's that guy, not Tom Hardy. I've been on an airplane before, says Danny Sadiq. Let's go!
Close
I can't
enough.
believe Upgrades-
What?
How is
Wait,
Upgrade
wait.
winning?
You can't.
Have people
you
seen Upgrade?
Chat. Unless you've seen it, you can't vote for Upgrade if it's.
I sold them on it, Bulk.
You.
Well,
Honestly,
they can,
vote
because if
for
they
it
haven't
and
seen
then
any of the
watch
films,
it.
you keep saying they can vote and they can
This
follow
is
their
true.
heart. And if they had
Yeah.
any heart, they would vote for Short Circuit, quite frankly.
I can't believe.
They haven't seen that traumatic scene.
I can't believe Airplane and Short Circuit are going to get beaten.
Get it. You need to go watch it. But honestly, Bolt and Harps, and anyone in the chat, go and watch Upgrade when you
Panda
get some
sold
time.
it.
It was on Netflix.
Straight
It's
to
on Netflix.
Upgrade
It might
wins.
still be,
Wasn't
so.
even straight to Blu-ray. It's straight to Netflix. I respect it.
I mean, yeah.
I respect
It come
the
out
hustle.
in the cinema, I think. But
I respect the hustle. That was what was it called? Upgrade. I'll have to put that on
Yes.
my wish list along with PS5. Right, and right, and I believe it should be now. Harps' turn. Let's
Harps,
go. Number 23.
Number 23. Again, not technically an amazingly proficient film, although I guess at the time it was kind of impressive. This film probably shaped some of my interests, shall we say. It's a film called Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, okay. I knew where he was going with that.
Who Framed
I know.
Roger Rabbit? Panda knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Panda, everyone knows. She's got ginger hair. Let's leave it at that. So, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is just really impressive, quite frankly. A film from the 80s? Question mark.
Yes.
Where they had hand-drawn animation, because back in the day, people used to actually draw things with their hands and animate them. It was hand-drawn animation cartoons and live action, and Bob Hoskins being a drunk alcoholic. That's right. Being a drunk alcoholic private eye, and they have to get to the bottom of who framed Roger Rabbit for the murder of I want to say R.K. Maroon or whatever his name is, the guy that was playing patty cake with Roger's wife, and it's not a euphemism. That's actually what they were doing. Mm-hmm. It's such a good film. I can't really say much about it other than Doc Brown is in it as well. He's the bad guy as Judge Doom. Can't remember his name right now. The guy who plays Doc Brown. Can't remember his name.
No one knows his name. He's just Doc Brown.
oh,
Yeah. What's his name? It's
Christopher
No.
something.
Christopher Lee? No,
not Christopher Lee.
Anyway, Doc Brown is in it. He's and Bob Hoskins, of course, and
You mean Mario?
Jessica Rabbit. Jessica
So
Rabbit's in it as
Mario,
well.
Bob. For those who don't know Bob Hoskins, it's Mario.
Yes, he was Mario. He was also Smee in Hook.
Yes.
And Hook is a pretty good film. So yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? A great mixture of live action and animation, and
Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
Christopher Lloyd. That was it. Thank you, Google. So yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is my 23rd favorite film of all time.
I'm off the top of my head. I'm gonna suggest 86 or 87.
Nah, 88. It was the year I was born.
Was it 88? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was in the ballpark.
Nice.
I was old enough to understand. I think I was old enough to go watch it in the cinema when it come out.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't. I waited till Christmas, like everyone, waiting for it to be on TV.
You were sat there and it was like in Technicolor, and you were like, "Whoa!"
Yes, actually.
Okay. So I believe it's Panda next.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list here, and my number 23, I've got a feeling it's a bit low on this list, and I'm going to get shouted at for it. But it's a classic horror movie from the 70s, I believe. I might be wrong there, I might be...
Off the top of my head, let me go.
But yeah, basically, my number 23 is Alien.
That's 79 or 80.
Is it? Yeah, that's what I think. It's late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, it's... Well, I mean, it speaks for itself. It launched a franchise that I absolutely love. It was terrifying back in the day. It reminds me of almost how like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, the games, went from like horror to action. Like Aliens is more action-based, whereas Alien, there's just the one alien on the ship. It set up the whole lore of the franchise and obviously on all that, but it is terrifying how it stalks the crew around the Nostromo and...
It's a proper slasher film.
Yeah, and it is very tense, and it's a scary film. So it's it kind of speaks for itself, really. It's just Alien. It's a great horror film, great.
And
start to
I
the
feel
franchise and-
I might have to add something here. A little fun fact that people who like the film know, but people who might not follow the film as much might not know this. The legendary chest burster scene when the alien bursts out of the guy's chest. The crew, the cast on set weren't told that was going to happen.
Yeah,
they
that was- I think
weren't
it was
told.
the first time they saw the alien.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It
Yeah.
burst out the actor's chest, and the shock on the woman's face specifically,
Yeah.
was genuine shock.
It's
'cause it just
genuine
burst and-
reactions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a great bit of directing for. Who was it? A director? It's quite a famous director.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley
That's the one,
Scott.
Ridley Scott. Yeah. I should know that really. As soon as I
Some
put it on
guy.
this list, I should know that. But yeah, so
That is
praises enough. I think it's too low on this list, to be honest. Now I look at it, but there you go. Number 23 is Alien.
yeah, 'cause he's
It
gonna
is
have-
what it is.
He's going to have like some straight to Amazon Prime in his top 5, and he wouldn't have had Alien there. I think Alien's way too low. The absolute 79, 80, or 81 is one of those from memory. But yeah, Ridley Scott, classic, absolute classic. Why did he then go on to Prometheus? What happened? John Hurt.
About 40 years happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That had the potential to be good, Prometheus, but it wasn't.
It just wasn't. It's a real shame.
You could have just run sideways out of the way of the big donut anyway.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's such a meme, and
Yeah, and they've got like the least scientific scientists I've ever seen. They're like, hey, look at this, some organic life on a planet we've never been to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick my face in it. Okay.
The air is possibly breathable. Let's go!
But you know, I do like Alien vs. Predator 1, so I can't really complain too much about dumb scientists in films.
Yeah, well, they were dumber. So clearly in the 27th century or whenever Prometheus is set, scientists are properly dumber. But Alien, incredibly good shout. I think it's super low on the list. I'm just throwing that out there, but I think it's super low. It's very, very
Dennis Sadiq
worthy.
hasn't seen Alien. I'm now convinced he has seen zero films.
You
Zero
need to
films.
watch Alien, even more so than Upgrade. Go and watch Alien.
He hasn't seen anything.
Danny
How is it
Sadiq needs
possible?
Danny Sadiq needs to spend the next week before the top 10 just watching movies. Just
Yeah,
binge
just
watching
binge
movies.
watch, yeah.
Forget work, forget sleep, forget food, just watch movies. Forget personal
Yes, yes,
hygiene, just watch movies.
Carlos hasn't seen it either, but Carlos has seen other films.
Now the only thing I would say about Alien being where it is it's going up against a proper heavyweight. My number 23? 23rd, my number
Yes.
23. Rocky 4.
Oh, the only one I remember seeing. The one with
Ivan Drago. I
Yes.
must
He
break
dies.
him. If he dies, he dies.
Dies.
So Rocky 4, the best of the montage moments. If you are running up that hill, lifting ox carts in the snow, America versus Russia, because that was a ting back then.
Yeah, subtle.
There was some subtle references to perhaps a not very warm war that was going on at the time that I was growing up. But Rocky 4, yes, if I could be his friend, we could all be friends, or something like that. That was the sentiment.
Yeah.
Rocky 4, an absolute knockout blow in the list, in the order of things. It's presented one of my favourite karate practitioners of all time, Dolph Lundgren. Did you know? That's a true fact. It's a true fact. When he moved over from Sweden or wherever he's from originally, he moved to London, and in the late 70s was training Kyokushinkai, full contact karate, while he was studying and doing acting over here in London. He trained at Crystal Palace. He became European knockdown champion. You would, being 6'17", and but yeah.
Do you think he moved to London because he was like, it sounds like my last name?
Yeah, no. He followed the acting gig, and that's where he was. That's where he was able to train in, because he was already doing karate, and then he came over here and had a major impact on karate in this country, especially full contact karate in this country at that time. And that's why you see him do martial arts movies, even though you don't look at him and don't think so. But
no.
There you go. That's why he does martial arts movies.
What excuse does Steven Seagal have?
Steven Seagal. Well, he was Jean-Claude Van Damme's bodyguard, wasn't he?
Was he?
That's news to me.
That's where he was JCVD's bodyguard at one point. That's where he got his break. He just forgot to do any actual martial arts and acting in his movies. He did a lot of this.
Yes.
A lot of flapping around with butter knives. But anyway, I feel that we've got two massive titans in the number 23 spot in Jessica Rabbit. Two massive titans. And also heavyweight contenders in Rocky IV and the original Alien. That's a tough one. Let's see where the voting lies.
The poll is now live, everyone. So, I'm going to vote for boobs, and I think everyone else should too. But, I mean, to be honest, Alien and Rocky IV.
Alien and Rocky IV. Is Alien
legendary
too
films.
low? Because you know that other people on this podcast are going to want to stick Alien further up. But I fear that people are just going to go with they're going to go with the shiny lights and the bells and whistles. I love Alien. That's brilliant.
Danny Sadiq says, "I know Jessica Rabbit." Then vote with your heart. You went for Alien, but you haven't seen it. But you know Jessica Rabbit.
It's because Alien's based on that character from MKX, that guest character.
Danny was saying
as Danny said, yeah,
Danny was saying they stole the Conjurer Queen from Mortal Kombat and put it in one of the films.
God.
Oh no! Well, I mean, let's face it. Technically, the best film out of those three did win.
Yes.
Technically,
I cannot be disappointed with Alien winning a slot. I can only feel disappointed that it's won a slot so low.
Do you know, I kind of agree with you there. I looked at that, and as it comes to 23, I was like, that's a bit low.
It's a bit low.
It won, so I'll take the
But
win.
you've got stuff above it. We know you've got stuff above it.
If he's got stuff above it,
Big
let's hope that they're particularly emotive and very impactful movies and not straight to Blu-ray. Like Upgrade.
Wait, you go and watch Upgrade before you judge.
I'll put
Honestly,
it.
it's an amazing underrated gem.
I'm gonna put it in my. I love underrated gems. I genuinely love underrated gems that never got the exposure that they deserved, and they get the
I know a
cult
couple of
following.
underrated gems that never got the exposure they deserve. But people didn't vote for that film.
Cult movies. I like cult movies, is what I'm trying to say.
It kind of is a cult. It's not. Yeah.
Well,
Not yet.
Not yet. It will be in 10 years'
It will
time.
be in like 10, 15 years.
You're asking for it to age like a bottle of fine wine, is what you're asking for it to do. Yes.
And it will.
Well, it won, so it's on everyone's radar
Oh,
now.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Number 22.
Is it me?
It is you.
Yes.
Yes, because yes.
25, 24, 23, 22. Yes, it is.
My number 22, I think, is the. Oh no, it's not the first. Does Harps' one count as an animation? Well, basically, it's my first animated full-length motion picture. Is one of the best cartoons I've ever seen. One of the most well-animated films I've ever seen.
Wait, I know which one. I know which one it is. It's Urotsuka Doji, Legend of the Overfeed.
No, but just
okay.
ignore Bob. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
It is an absolutely brilliant film, down to the fact that when you're watching it, you forget it's an animation, like a cartoon, because it is so well animated. It is unbelievable, and the story on it, it's one of the most well-written Spider-Man films I've ever. It's probably the best Spider-Man. It might be the best Spider-Man film I've ever seen. It is just a great film, and honestly, I can't big up the animation enough. I know Harps has probably got it higher up the list, isn't you, Harps? Is that what you're in that hour?
You'll have to wait and see, my friend.
But yeah, like I say, there's a few decent, really, really decent Spider-Man films, and it's the top of the pile, even though it's not a live-action film. So that speaks volumes in itself. And And it's not even Peter Parker's Spider-Man isn't even the main character. It's Miles Morales. So
Yeah. Every character in it is lovable.
yeah,
That's all I'll say.
I haven't seen it.
you need to see it, Bulk. It's
the one with,
great. Do
with,
you like Spider-Man?
No.
Well, then you don't need
Watch it anyway.
Yeah, go watch it anyway.
I don't like Spider-Man because for me he's and this is just a personal thing. He's just the weakest of the Marvel heroes. He has to have specifically his own He has his own set of B-rate Z-list villains to deal with that no one else deals
Brilliant
with.
but lazy is not Z-list.
Well,
Dum Dum Doc Ock.
like literally no one has they don't present a threat to anyone else outside of Spider-Man City, and Spider-Man himself is enough to deal with them. That's my only issue with Spider-Man is that he deals with like these low-level crims and doesn't need like the Avengers to come in and help stop Doc Ock, if you know what I mean.
Aren't the majority of comic? Yeah, I was going to say.
Couldn't the same be said about the Joker though?
Yeah.
He's only a threat to Batman, and Batman doesn't need help to stop him.
This is true, but Batman himself is also like second in command of the Justice League, and they take on like intergalactic.
Spider-Man doesn't need a Justice League. I guess that's your point.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that he's not capable, but yeah. But that's just that's a personal thing. Both the juniors love Spider-Man. I don't know why kids like Spider-Man so much.
Because he's awesome.
He's awesome.
Simple as that. Everyone wants to be Spider-Man. I mean, how cool is it to swing through New York? That's all you need.
Exactly.
Okay, news
and if
just in.
Back, Into the Spider-Verse, best Spider-Man movie, number 22.
Hot off the presses, Mrs. Bulk on the sofa just looked at me and said, "I don't like Spider-Man."
A family of Spider-Man haters, even though you just said your two sons like it.
Mrs. Bolt, I love you for that. Okay. Irish, welcome home, sir. Welcome home. All right, number. How could mine possibly compete? Mine is one of those ones. Again, it's a bit of a classic. My my 22nd favoritist movie of all time. Lost Boys. Keith Sutherland as the leader of a group of adolescent vampires.
I've never seen it.
If you've never seen Lost Boys, this is an actual cult classic.
People do love it.
It was reasonably popular at the time. You've probably seen people with at gigs, or if you remember, do you remember back in the time there was a time when we used to go to pubs and go to outside events and things like that, and maybe there was some live music playing and of a heavier or rocky kind of like rock infused vibe. There was in a group of 100 people, someone's got a Lost Boys t-shirt on. Okay,
I can't say I've ever noticed that. It sounds like a spin-off show from Peter Pan.
Okay, and that's exactly where they get the name from, because they're vampires. So the Lost Boys in Peter Pan are they're eternal, but they're kids, aren't they? Well,
yes.
The Lost Boys in the Lost Boys movie are vampires, and they're young. They're not that young. They're like think of Keith Sutherland from 24 in his late teens, early 20s.
I've seen the trailer for
if he goes in the sun, though. If he walks out in sunlight, does he sparkle?
No, that's just
that's what good vampires do.
That's metrosexual vampires. Yeah, that's.
I thought Bob was going to say no. Those are the boring vampires.
Yeah, those are the vampires that drive Volvos. Okay, these are the vampires that ride around in motorbike gangs and just hang out on the pier at the carnival and just abduct and kill anyone that they want to. Just imagine how much self-control and restraint a 19 to 24-year-old has, and then put them in a gang of 5 others and make them vampires. That's how cool it is. And there's the plot is
he sold it quite well there, to be fair.
A family moves to this town in like a coastal town like Brighton in the UK, in the USA. Whitney in the chat surely has seen this movie, okay, because it's one of those iconic movies. And they move to this town, and it's got the first thing that you hear is "It's Strange" by Echo and the Bunnymen, the Doors version. But you know,
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
No, I don't.
That's a song, I assume.
Bulky Boomer's showing again.
Please tell me someone's heard of one of those two bands. The Doors.
I haven't even seen the film.
The Doors. Come on. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so they moved.
My total experience with the Doors is they had one song on Need for Speed Underground 2, and it was by far the worst song in that game. Carry on.
Okay. They moved to this place. All right. There's a young kid in his mid-teens. There's an older child in his like late teens that's still like at the very end of education, and he's come to a new town. He's trying to meet girls and all of that stuff. And there's the single mum that they live with, who befriends the school teacher that is that the son goes to school of, and so on. And then through the boys going into town and enjoying the nightlife of their new coastal town, a little bit like Amity Bay in Jaws, that sort of setting, right? They come up against these vampires. Okay, people disappear. People for some reason don't turn up to school the next day. Okay, and through the course of it, they realise that they're dealing with something that's not right. They meet two teenage vampire hunters. All right, which is incredibly insane. All right, they meet two teenage vampire hunters who they've dedicated their lives to killing this menace. There's a point when they fill up a bathtub of water, throw garlic, crosses, add some holy water in, and then fill up water pistols to try and take on these bad guys. It's not comic. It's not comedic.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It's some very, very cool scenes. Okay, there's a grandpa as well. The grandpa's a key figure.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. At the end, who
someone to represent you.
To cut a long story short, the grandpa stays out of it for the whole of the movie, and eventually ends up killing one of the main vampires. And in the end, I mean, if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. So I'm just going to tell you what happens. So he kills one of the vampires at the end in a grand entrance, and then just gets out of his car and says, "Yeah, I love this town. Just one thing is the damn vampires." And he's kept quiet about it for the whole time. Yeah, please put Lost Boys on your list to watch, because it's one of those ones that you will not regret having seen it when you're lying on your deathbed. Okay, it's one of those movies. Lost Boys 22.
Nice. Okay then.
That's not the ending, by the way, Mashup. That's not the ending, Carlos. That's one of the bits. There's so many good bits.
It's just the bits.
It's Kiefer Sutherland's seminal point. It's when he emerged on the scene, and it takes some beating, and it can't be beaten in this, surely.
Well, Panda. He's not here, but you can probably still hear me. The Lost Boys sounds fun. But it's not Into the Spider-Verse, is it, Bolt? It's just not Into the Spider-Verse, which is my 22nd favourite film of all time.
Great choice, Harps. Great choice.
It's just not Into the Spider. I watched it again the other day, and it's so good. I mean, I'd say it's good to see you again, Spider-Man, but it's not. Kingpin is awesome. When he sees Miles Morales just skittering away, and he just goes, kill that guy.
I watched it today, actually. Me and the kids watched it today.
And everyone is just, it's hard to explain. It's just really good. I didn't believe it when I saw the trailer. Everyone said, "Oh, it's amazing. And I saw the trailer and I was like, the frame rate's a bit low. Not sure if I like this animation style. But as Panda says, you watch the film, and then I wouldn't say you kind of forget that it's animated.
You just get lost in it, don't you?
It's 2D sometimes.
Do you get lost in the Spider-Verse?
No. There are lost boys in the Spider-Verse. I mean, Peter Porker, Nicolas Cage as Noir Spider or Spider Noir, the weird Japanese Spider-Man girl with a robot, Spider-Gwen kicking all sorts of butt, Peter B. Parker, the absolute comedy gold of that film. It's
a genius film. It's so well made. Good. It's unreal.
Yeah, there were so many shots in that film. I've never read a Miles Morales comic, but I could tell there was a bunch of shots in that film that are taken straight from panels of the comic. It just it looks faithful to that kind of art style. It's got heart. It's got humor. It's just every moment that they're at the Super Collider is just a visual feast. It's just so bright, so bold, so colorful. It's Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And it's my 22nd favorite film of all time. So
enough said.
I think with that, we're going to have to start the poll. Let's go.
Yes, let's start the poll. People are going to be putting Lost Boys in time capsules. I'm not sure if they're going to be putting in an animated Spider-Man movie. Maybe.
Watch it and then judge. I don't know.
Yeah, they might. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse...
Come on. Actual cinema gold versus something that might be very worthy in a few years' time.
It was an instant classic when it landed. Lost Boys kind of had to cultivate a following over a bunch of years.
But my God, has it got a following?
Yes. Old men wearing T-shirts in pubs across the country.
And women. Let me tell you.
Women, sorry.
Men and women. It doesn't go to any gender.
No.
Come on, one more vote. One more vote. I don't think we've got another viewer, do we? Do we?
I don't know. Everyone votes Spider-Verse.
Someone tell Heracles he can vote now.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, yes. The correct choice, I think, was made.
Well, it's a choice. It's a choice. I'm not going to feel. I'm going to give that one to Harps because Pan's already won 2 of them.
I'm going to give us a point each.
Yeah, we should each have a point. Yeah, look, he's trying to rig it, everyone. He's trying to rig it. So consider that next time he says what his 21st favourite film is. It's probably Bridge Over the River Kwai or something like that.
Okay. Right. It's okay, everybody. It was a close one. I'm not going to say 4-3's an absolute trouncing, is it? No. So thank you very much for those 2 people that voted. I appreciate that. I need to get Mrs. Bulk on the case.
You're not allowed to hire outside help. I'll text my mum.
This is inside help. This is inside help. So anyway, number 21. Now, I love this movie because it is a reimagining of a very, very long-running character, and it's 2006 Casino Royale, Daniel Craig.
Now, that's a good film.
That is a good film.
It is a good film, and it's what I got out of the cinema, and I immediately said to Mrs. Bulk then, it's James Bourne. He's turned into Jason Bourne. They've turned him into Jason Bourne, and looking back on it, they did exactly that. All of the action sequences were hard and gritty and Krav Maga, elbows and knees to the eyeball. So they were all very hard and gritty, but the point of it was that it really highlighted the James Bond character for the hard-bitten character that he is, the man, the agent from the books that smokes 10 cigarettes before having a triple brandy on Wake Up. Okay, that's in the books. He goes through packs of cigarettes and alcohol. Constantly, just literally constantly, not because he is a rampant alcoholic, but also because he's having to deal with the fact that he is a murderer and a liar and a cheat and ultimately a very bad man doing very bad things for very good reasons.
I don't know if he's technically a murderer because he is allowed to do it, and murder is the unlawful killing of a person.
Not in that country of where he did it, it wasn't.
Good point, yeah. Good point.
An assassination would be a murder in the country that you commit it. Yes, it's just a sanctioned action from the government that asked you to do so in the first place. And no one thinks of the henchman. Okay? No one thinks
Why would you?
So, Evening Mountie, welcome to the chat. We're just talking about number 21, Casino Royale. That scene where you see Craig David in the... Craig David.
I thought it was deliberate.
Sorry.
Imagine Craig David playing
I don't remember that scene.
Craig David. Hey, Castro. Hey, Cass. All right.
Royal flush.
All right. So that scene where he's just killed someone. That he, you can tell that, and the story, the Casino Royale is the first James Bond book. It's it's like the genesis of James Bond, and it was the first movie. There was a comedy essentially made before before Dr. No, before Cubby Broccoli got his hands on the production. He couldn't get the rights to do Casino Royale, so there is a movie out there called Casino Royale. Which is a comedy, and it was made before Dr. No, which was the Sean Connery Bond, and the start of that. This is the remake of that. They finally got the rights to do Casino Royale, and you get to see the emergence of James Bond as a character. Yes, he's had a very hard life. He's had a very dark past, and that scene where he's killed the guy down the stairs, he gets to the hotel room. Daniel Craig gets to the hotel room, and he's just looking at himself in the mirror while cleaning himself up. So he's cleaning all the blood off himself, trying to make himself vaguely presentable and not show too many knife wounds and whatever before going back down to the casino floor to sit at the table. And he's drinking scotch as he's doing it, and he just looks at himself in the mirror. And Daniel Craig's portrayal of that, when he's just looking at himself and realising that he is a dark character. He's got a lot of shady things that he's done and is going to do in the name of his job and for his queen and country. And he's got to go downstairs and put his tuxedo on and play a game of blackjack or whatever it is they play. No, this is poker, isn't it?
It was poker.
It's poker in the movie.
And that was my introduction to Mads Mikkelsen.
Because
he's the bad guy, isn't he?
Yes, that's right.
He's a great bad guy in that as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Bow selector. All right. So yeah, Casino Royale for me is arguably my favourite Bond movie because of the direction that they took of the character himself, which is
I can get behind that. Yeah,
it stopped being silly.
Yeah, because after Roger Moore, and then like Timothy Dalton tried to make it harder with Timothy Dalton. It didn't really work because no one liked him, and then you've got
Pierce Brosnan was my Bond growing up.
I'm so sorry.
But he's awesome, though.
It was the silliness of Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan was neither ripped nor was he charming, and he was hairy. He was
more charming than Daniel Craig, I can tell you that much.
I don't
Daniel Craig's like, I'm sad. That's his character.
A lot of people would argue at that point, but yeah, okay. So, Casino Royale, take it away, Harps. Number 21, please.
Okay. Casino Royale, great film. I can't say that I've watched all that many Bond films, but I did see Casino Royale not long after it came out, and I thought that was pretty good, pretty enjoyable. The problem is, though, Bulk, is that it's not Back to the Future 2, is it?
Oh, how did I forget that franchise in
it's
general?
Look, Back to the Future 2, I'm just
That's why.
I'm just going to lay it out there. This is the only Back to the Future film on my list. I've got to lay it out there. Back to the Future 1, probably a better film overall, but
2's the worst.
Just gonna throw that out. 3 is clearly the worst because there's nothing future about it. Nothing. It's basically a Western. Look, I like Back to the Future 3, but it ain't Back to the Future 2. In Back to the Future 2, they where do they go in that film? Oh, to the future. Yes, that automatically makes it the best one. To the far off distant future of 2015. They had hoverboards, all these callbacks to the original film. You had hoverboards. You had Biff that basically became Trump. You had the Spot Almanac and Marty's mum, and I mean, Back to the Future 2 is just the best. You got Future Biff, who's evil, and he that's how present day Biff becomes rich Biff. Back to the Future 2 is just good. I mean, it's like the first film, except they actually go to the future. And everything in that future scene was awesome. Like I say, the hoverboards don't work on water. We know this. Back to the Future taught us that. There was Jaws 3D, not the real Jaws 3D, an actual fake one in the film where the hologram of Jaws would come out and it would try and eat him, and then he's like, Shark still looks fake. He's got the clothes that dry themselves when he gets out of the water after the hoverboard.
You put your foot in and
exactly. They made some of those. I think 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's Nike. They actually made those shoes from Back to the Future 2, the future shoes that self-lace up and everything. They made a pair of those and gave them to Michael J. Fox. And you can see him. There's a video of him putting them on, and they self-lace up, and it's like, we are in the future. Back to the Future 2, the best of the trilogy. Back to the Future 3 is okay, by far the worst though, because it's set in the Western times, one of the most overplayed and least interesting of times. Back to the Future 2, the superior Back to the Future film. Oh no, because technically 1 is a better film. Back to the Future 2 is my 21st favorite film of all time. And now, Panda, you can move on to yours.
I've just added Back to the Future to my honourable mentions. I can't believe I forgot that franchise. I love all 3 of those films. And I don't even want to say my number 21 now.
Look, Panda, I'll put it this way. If it didn't make your top 25 or even in the list, maybe it's because Back to the Future as a franchise is fun. Is it really up there?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone knows Back to the Future 1 is one of the greatest films of all time.
Okay, no, I give that. I'm surprised
Lost Boys on there
and
and go
1.
Back to the Future.
Yeah,
anyway, moving on.
With 2. Why did he go with 2? Back to the Future 1 is obvious. If you're going to pick any of them, it's 1.
Yeah.
But
because they go to the future in 2. There we go.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
but the whole point is they go back to the future at the end of the movie.
They do that.
No, they go back to the present.
They go back to the present. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah. The second one's the only one with the.
So
actual
what we're
future
saying
in it.
is it's just badly named.
Yeah.
They should have just called it the Scientist and the DeLorean, and they would have been fine. Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot that. Anyway, I'm not expecting any votes on this now because it's coming up against 2 great films here. But my number 21 is stars Brad Pitt. It's basically you've made an echo.
I accidentally called up Siri. My chubby broken karate fingers hit the touchpad on top of the keyboard here. I'm so sorry.
Can people still hear him?
Can you all hear? Can you hear everybody?
Can you hear me?
Danny's saying audio cut.
It's back.
Right,
Voices back.
Right. Yeah, basically, it's a 2014 film set in World War II called Fury. It follows a tank crew as they fight off Nazis in Nazi. I think it's based in Germany, and it just shows the dynamic between all the people that are in this tank crew. One of them gets shot, I think, and one of them dies basically, and a new guy comes in that's a bit doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't really want to shoot anyone, and obviously being in the tank crew on the front lines, you've got to be able to shoot people. It shows a lot of the psychological stuff that goes on in the head, and there's a hell of a action scenes in it, and it's basically what you'd expect from a World War II film, just from the point of view of this tank crew. And the end scene, I don't want to spoil it, but it's brilliantly done. The way they all go out on a last hurrah sort of thing, and yeah, just basically a great World War II film that follows a tank crew as they fight Nazis in Nazi Germany. So it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Definitely one of the better war movies.
It's
Not
good
the best,
one.
but one of the better ones. Yeah.
Fury is a good movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as either of your 2 picks though, so I'm just gonna gloss over that.
Single
one.
tank crew beating off Germans versus.
That's a video. Let's not go into that though.
Versus.
Sorry, I just want to bring it. Bulk seems to have abbreviated Back to the Future as BBTF.
Oh.
What is that? Back boo to future?
It's because I read. I was in the middle of a boo, but I couldn't concentrate. Sorry. It's BTTF, isn't it? Yeah. Two small T's. There we go. All right, let's go.
The poll is now live. Some really good films there. Like I say, I haven't seen Fury, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It is a great film.
It's a good film. It's
got John Bernthal in it, and a guy that went a bit mental and did the Just Do It thing. What's Shia LaBeouf?
And Brad Pitt.
Blaz
Well, yeah,
Blue
obviously,
Tag
and Brad
Battle.
Pitt is the main actor, but
I can't believe the Back to the Future 2 downplay going on here. It's clearly more fun than the first one.
I'm not being funny, Hubs. I voted for yours over mine here. I haven't got any points. Back to the Future 2 is a better film than Fury at the end of the day. So.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good. Look,
I respect it.
With I think even more so than favourite video games of all time, your movies, your movies and your music really make up you as a person. It makes up your identity, and they're all emotionally charged. And I can't. If anyone says that, look, Back to the Future 2 is one better than Back to the Future, and it's also in my top 25 of all time, I have to respect it, and I do respect it. I like that movie. It's a good movie. So well done to Harps there for BTTF 2. Yes.
Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, and all
I'm
of these
surprised Panda didn't have it on his list.
All of these are going
So am
to
I.
be.
I forgot about the franchise.
Well, I didn't, because it's the same for me as Spider-Man. It's enjoyable as a family movie, but it's not it's not like with me till the end of time, if you know what I mean. But then
I can respect.
To be
that.
fair, I've had more time, so you know. I
legit would have put Back to the Future 3 though if I remembered that Back to the Future was the thing. That's just my opinion.
I think 3's the most entertaining, but it's not. I think 1 and 2 really are the original. 2 is basically 1 just set in the future.
Which is why it's better.
Anyway, let's just move on from that now because we're going to
I respect
argument about it.
Harps, okay. I respect it and I respect your decision. Well done.
Yeah, same.
Thank you. I respect your feeling that Back to the Future 1 is better than 2, and I totally understand. You know, all kayfabe aside, I do honestly totally get it if you think Back to the Future 1 is better than 2. I just prefer 2 myself. So I believe it is Bulk now to go first.
Is it?
No, it's me.
Because I kicked off with Casino Royale.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, of course you did, yes, Casino Royale. So, okay, number 20. You might have heard of a little film called Total Recall. With Arnold Schwarzenegger. None of this Colin Farrell rubbish. Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not bad. It's the 20th best film of all time, Panda.
No, the Colin Farrell one's not bad.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Everyone knows the scene when Arnie's on the surface of the red planet and the eyes are bugging out. Everyone loves that. Everyone loves... It's got the one-liners you could wish for. It's actually rather cerebral for an Arnie film as well. Most of them are just not that cerebral, but this film, it always has that sort of... Is it real or is it part of Total Recall sort of thing? Like, you never know if he actually went to Mars or if him going to Mars was part of the fantasy that he paid for using the Total Recall service. And of course, the basic idea is there's a guy that works at a mining company, I think, and that it's set in the future. And you can go to this place called Total Recall where they will basically implant memories into your brain and give you memories of holidays, of things, places where you never went. And as he gets strapped into this machine, everything starts kicking off, and it turns out that he's a spy that ends up actually going to Mars and doing all this stuff. And you see like crazy mutated aliens. Hank from Breaking Bad, I believe, is in it. He's the he plays this guy, this mutant with like a messed up face, and he says to Hauser, which Arnie's character, he goes, "You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here, Hauser." And then Arnie looks at him and goes, "Look who's talking." It's so good. Of course, there is the famous three-breasted prostitute, which is a classic scene. His wife is Sharon Stone, and he has to kill her. That's pretty funny. Benny, of course, the taxi driver who
got
tries
9 kids to feed.
Yeah, he's like, "Joke's on you, man. I ain't got no kids." I mean, Michael Ironside is in it. He plays an awesome Michael Ironside type. He gets his arms cut off.
See you at the party, Richter.
Yeah, see you at the party, Richter. Oh, it's so quotable. And it's just Total Recall. But with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that is my number 20, and I'm done talking about it.
Alright, sweet. It's me next, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, my number 20 is it's not really a sequel, but it's another Guy Ritchie movie following on from my first pick, and it's Snatch. Because I think it's...
Do you like dogs?
Guy Ritchie. It's from me, man. It's Brad Pitt again, isn't it? It's another classic Guy Ritchie film. As I say, same thing with the story as what happened in Lock, Stock. It all interweaves with itself. You've got all these different storylines going on, and
I thought it was like a better Lock, Stock. when I saw it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I can't
agree.
really put it any better than that. It is a better Lock, Stock. So
Is that the one where the guys tried to rob?
They try and steal a diamond. It's all about a diamond.
it's Diamond. The guy with the
No, they try to stick up. What's his name? Vinnie Jones, and they're
Yes.
holding these
Yeah,
guns
with
which are fake.
replicas, isn't it?
Replica.
Yeah, and he's got
Seeing
his
as your-
he goes-
seeing as
he
yours-
goes on the side.
Seeing
On
as
the
yours
side of your
says
gun, it says
replica,
replica,
and mine
on the
says
side of my gun,
Desert
it says
Eagle
Desert Eagle
0.50.
0.50. So good.
Again, that's got loads of quotable scenes in it, especially from Bricktop. Bricktop is brilliant in that.
They go
guy
through
that-
bone
Yeah,
like butter.
He gives that whole speech about Nemesis, doesn't it?
Yes.
And yeah,
You've got to
I
put a
can't
muzzle
quote
on-
that for some reason.
on your girlfriend.
Feed them to the pigs. Like I say,
But yeah, like Harp said, it's basically a better Lock, Stock. So yeah, my pick for number 20 is Snatch. It's a great Guy Ritchie movie. Again, Jason Statham's great in it. Brad Pitt is amazing. I love Brad Pitt in that. He actually went to spend time with the Travellers and the Bare Knuckle Boxers, I think, didn't he? Before
really?
to study for the role, I think. Yeah.
Probably.
So
It's a very good film.
yeah, brilliant film.
yeah, absolutely. Snatch is a movie that Mrs. Bulk and I have seen many times. There was a point when we just used to watch it like every other week. It was we watched it a lot of times. We like that movie, like it a lot. However, another movie that we like a lot is Denzel Washington's finest hour, Training Day. So, Training Day.
It's a great film.
It is a great film. King Kong ain't got on me. So, Training Day, for those who are unfamiliar, and I can't believe that you aren't, if you are. So, Training Day is Ethan Hawke becomes an undercover undercover cop in City, and he is taken under the wing of Denzel Washington, who has been an undercover cop for a long time and is head of the unit, and has he's basically given him a day where he shows him the ropes. And what you realise is that Denzel Washington has been undercover for so long that he has become the guy that he's trying to represent, while also still maintaining the fact that he's a cop. So he is a horrible, bad man. He throws his weight about, he throws his authority about, he kills people when he wants to, and then says, "I'm a cop, what you gonna do about it?" And the whole gangscape hate his guts because they know he is like the worst cop that they've ever come across, and they can't touch him because he's a cop and whatnot. And he's got his finger in everyone's lives. He's got something about everyone. And he'll rob Peter to pay Paul and all of that stuff. And it all comes to a very sticky end for our boy Denzel in the end, when he gets on the wrong side of some Russian mobsters who just don't care. They will kill him. And it's all set in one day, hence Training Day. It's the like John Wick is a very bad day for Keanu Reeves. Training Day is a very bad day for a lot of people, and it's gritty, and it's got some of the best lines in it that you're ever gonna hear. Like, have you ever had your stuff pushed in? As a way of starting a conversation with Ethan Hawke when he's in a situation in some gangster's kitchen and is surrounded by heavies, and he literally can't get out. No, I haven't had my stuff pushed in. And what has happened is Denzel Washington has just called them and said, "Yeah, he's a cop, kill him." So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And if anyone's seen Zootropolis, anyone seen Zootropolis?
I've seen that.
Yeah, okay.
Parents in the chat.
And because Panda's seen both movies, there's a moment there where the heroes in Zootropolis are about to get iced by Mr. Big. And then his daughter comes in and goes, "Oh my God, that's the girl that saved me from the giant donut." And that's the scene taken from Training Day. When, "Oh my God, that's the guy that saved me from those two guys." So, it's...
I saw it once many years ago, and I remember
connected
thinking Training Day was a very good film.
Training Day is
It
a
is.
fantastic.
I wouldn't say it's Denzel Washington's finest hour, but
I think,
But it did spawn that famous meme, "My Ninja."
Yeah.
yeah.
It did spawn it.
Yes. So there it is. Number 20. It's what would you say is Denzel Washington's finest hour? While we get the poll going.
Poll is live.
I like The Equalizer and Man on Fire.
Two good movies. I think Training Day's just better.
American
He gets
Gangster
to
was good as well.
American Gangster's great time. Yes, American Gangster's equally as good as Training Day for him.
I mean, he's got some great films, to be fair to him, isn't he? So.
I can't think of any other film of his that I've seen.
American
Training
Gangster and Training Day are the highest points of a very big career for Denzel Washington. He mainly plays the good guy. He's usually the good guy, but this one he gets to really explore and big it up. Not big it up like Gary Oldman in Die Hard,
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, it's not good. Not go crazy.
No, wait, hang on. Gary Oldman.
I meant Gary Oldman in Leon.
Fifth Element.
In
Lost in
Leon.
Space.
And in Fifth Element as well.
Lost in Space.
He was in Lost in Space.
He was in Lost in Space. Yes.
That was a good film. There, I said it.
It had Joey from Friends in it.
Okay, it was enjoyable. I wouldn't say it was good.
Okay, Total Recall. I'm not surprised. I didn't put Total Recall in my list because I wanted to limit myself to the number of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in my list.
That's a mistake.
And I've still got 3 that haven't appeared yet. So I've still got 3 movies in
same.
there. And I'm at this point, I'm really hoping you guys don't mention something that's further up because I really want them up there.
I think there's going to be a lot of cross-pollination near the top
Yeah,
of
and
that.
I think at the end of it, we're going to end up with some of our better favourites in there, so that's all good.
Yeah.
All right, I think 2 more, and then I'll have a very quick break before running into the final 7. Okay, so we'll get to...
Sweet. Is it
Yeah.
me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, my number 19 is, I'm just going to come out and say it, it's The Matrix.
Interesting.
I don't really know what I can say about The Matrix, to be fair. It just speaks for itself. It's an absolutely brilliant film. It's got some amazing CGI with the bullet time and stuff in it. Perhaps your face on stream's frozen. Oh no, it's not frozen.
That's
You
just
were
his
just pulling
face.
your face.
Some might say that film's too low.
I mean, you could do, but the
I
films
wouldn't.
I've got above it are all better than that. But I don't really know how to. I just love that film. It's one of those films that I could watch again and again and again. It's a really well-made film.
It was revolutionary for the industry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's revolutionary for the industry. It's
Maybe the most parodied film of all time. Maybe. It's been parodied by everything.
Well, yeah.
Everything has done a Matrix parody.
Well, the bullet time thing, yeah. That's the standard.
Yeah, various parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
what are you doing? Don't show lists. What are you doing?
My number 19... So this is what we've written so far. Okay, my number 19 is The Matrix. My number 19 is The Matrix because it was groundbreaking, revolutionary stuff. Now, I'm going to encapsulate it in a story. We, as young Mr. and Mrs. Bulk, were running a karate club in East London. Hey, we still do, except just one of us is older now. And we were, when it comes to, there was a tournament to do. And we organised all of our students and said, look, we've got this big tournament we're going to go and do. We'll hire a coach and then take everybody there. We were going from East London where not many of our students had cars, and it was in Kent, so we had to organise a coach. And it was a big day. 6 a.m. start, as it would be. And we had a student who was serially late. He was always late, but he was very dedicated. He was one of those kids that his parents let him be responsible, but he was only like 15 at the time. Anyway, this student of ours, a bit of a goth, you could say, and he therefore always dressed in the appropriate gothic attire. So when he came to class and had to change into a white pyjama suit, it was always a bit of a shock. Anyway, the only person we're waiting for at this coach is that student. I forget his name. Maybe Mrs. Bulk will remember. And then We're waiting. The coach is about to pull away. We have sent messages after messages and called him and tried everything. No answer. The coach is literally pulling away now. The driver's started the engine and has indicated to pull off and has started to move. And we see our man running, black leather trench coat wafting in the breeze. And everyone on the back of the bus said, "It's Neo!" And it stuck with him forever. We just called him Neo. So, and Mrs. Bulk's smiling there 'cause she remembers the exact day. She remembers the day. So, The Matrix, it is the 19th best movie of all time. Panda agrees, Panda knows. Bulk knows, as you can see on the screen there, Bulk knows about movies. Okay? Harp, what do you got to say about that?
Well, I think it's clear to everyone that I have that film higher on my list. The problem is, when we get to that point in the list, then you might have better films than it. I mean, you know, my pick is a banger though, but I have to tell a little story about The Matrix that may or may not sway people into voting for it. The Matrix was why I started learning karate.
Ooh, you started learning karate?
Yes, I was doing it for about 6 months and then gave up. But I started learning karate after I came out of The Matrix. After I came out of the cinema, after seeing The Matrix, I was like, that was amazing. I must know kung fu. Yeah. So, my dad did karate back in the day, and he also did it. I think he did it with the RAF many moons ago, and he was also doing it as recently as I think maybe 10 years ago. He got his black belt and everything. And yes, I started doing a little bit of karate, stuck with it for about 6 months, and then, you know, the honeymoon period of The Matrix wore off, and I was like, don't really feel like I'm getting anything out of this. And I decided it wasn't for me, which upset my parents, because before they bought me my gi, they said, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because we're going to buy you this stuff." And I was like, yes. So much to their chagrin, after a while, I was like, okay, I'm done. But my number 19, and some people are going to say this is too low, but there's a film called Aliens.
It's too low.
It's too low.
It's very much too low.
It's way too low.
Look, this isn't the list of the greatest films of all time, because if it is Aliens, it'll probably be top 5. This is just a list of my favourite. And I really liked Aliens as a kid, more so than Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Look
not
at
as much as all the films that came above it.
The chat is exploding right now.
Don't vote for it. If you
People
think
said
it's too low,
Aliens is too
don't
low.
vote if it's too low.
Yeah.
They said Aliens is too low, but not The Matrix? Okay. One of them, I mean, look, Aliens is absolutely legendary. One of these films had a bigger impact on the industry, so I guess we're not factoring that in. Do I need to say anything about arguably the greatest action film of all time? Definitely top 3. Top 3 greatest action films of all time. I'm just talking everyone out of voting for it, because I'm saying this film's so good, it's too low.
Don't forget, James Cameron directed Aliens. He did Aliens and Titanic.
Yes. I saw one of those in the cinema.
One of those movies
Was it Titanic?
is going to be on all of our lists. And it's probably not the one with Kate Winslet.
Oh no, wait.
Okay, let's start the most pointless poll of all time then.
This is going to be another joint.
Don't worry, Harps. You'll end up being vindicated in the end.
I won't.
Please, everybody, vote for Matrix. Don't let Aliens die so low.
Oh,
don't do it, people.
Aliens.
Oh,
who's voted Aliens?
Who's voted for Aliens? Why would you do that?
It might not win the votes later on. It might not win those votes.
It will win the votes later on, because
when it comes up against the Matrix later on.
I voted for Alien. Why did you Heracles, why did you do that? Heracles, I'm gonna... Okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Come on. Because if it goes to revote, then people are gonna throw themselves. They're gonna throw their vodka all over their face and wake themselves up, and then. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the revote. Let's do the
Yeah,
revote.
let's do the revote.
And
let us do the revote.
vote with your brain as well as your conscience. Okay?
Aliens is better than The Matrix, so it needs to not be voted for here because it needs to be higher.
Yes,
the
that's
end of
what we're
the day.
saying. Aliens
It's
needs
backwards, but
to
it makes
appear higher.
Yeah.
This
So
is
vote for The
tactical,
Matrix now, and then we'll
tactical
all vote
voting,
Aliens
everybody.
later. How
Okay?
about that?
Hopefully, even Harps will vote for Matrix.
I did. Because it makes sense, doesn't it, lads? It makes sense.
I'm so glad we didn't. I'm so glad we didn't. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Mrs. Bulk? Aliens or Matrix? No, if you have to pick between those two. So, which one do you think's better? Aliens or Matrix? Is better. Aliens is better. There you go.
So it needs to be higher. So don't vote now.
Exactly.
See?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Even though we have established
Yeah,
this is a list
it's
of
gonna become-
of our favourite films, not the objectively
For
superior
both
films.
Panda and me, and probably Heracles as well, it's our 19th favourite movie of all time. And deservedly so, but I respect, again, Harpalarp, I properly respect that. It's a good shout. He's trying to bring...
It's too low.
He's bringing in the heavy hitters, he's trying to get all the votes, straight away.
No, there are 18 films I prefer over Aliens. Simple as
Not
that.
for me, there isn't.
Yeah, I know.
Alright,
okay.
so who's next? Alright, it's me.
Me.
No, you started with The Matrix and I backed you up all
Oh
the way,
yeah, I
sir.
did. Yeah, okay.
And
So
We're
well
just saying
done.
your camera's slightly delayed, Bulk.
There's nothing I can do about that. That's just
Okay.
yeah,
It's just one of those things.
What I'll do is I will talk in Chinese Hong Kong kung fu movie subtitles. And
Yes, without the subtitles.
then
Just dubs.
my facial actions will sync with my voice.
That won't get annoying.
Smooth Razor, welcome to the chat. Welcome home. Okay, my 18, and this is before our little break. We're going to have a very short interval just so we can fill up our refreshment jars. Number 18 for me, 300.
Ooh, good choice.
Yes,
That's a
I
good
don't know if it's
film.
better than The Matrix though.
it's better than
But
The Matrix.
This is your opinion.
My opinion is it is better than The Matrix, and let's face it, an absolute visual and auditory orgy on the senses.
It is.
It is indeed. Gerard Butler, the most Scottish of Spartan warriors, leading the way. The only one who's resolute of beard. The ultimate hipster, Leonidas of Sparta. This is your number 18.
That's been parodied once or twice as well, I
Yes.
must admit. Yes.
All the quotable lines, all of
We'll fight in the shade.
Exactly, indeed. Our arrows will black out the sun. All of those things, and you're sitting in front of whether it's the screen, like the big screen, or your television, or whatever you're watching on, and your eyeballs are being assaulted with actual sexual energy. I'm going to put that in right there because the visuals are so beautiful in 300, and everyone dies so hilariously, brilliantly. It inspired me to learn karate. No, I'm just...
The inspiration is still being felt quite a while later. Me and Stavros, my friend, were playing some GTA the other day, and he got a tattoo on his character's back, which is a guy hiding under a shield, blocking out all these arrows. And he goes, "I saw a 300 tattoo. I bought a 300 tattoo." And as a little aside to that, I bought a tattoo for my guy's back that looks a little bit like Yoshimitsu if you squint.
Oh, fantastic. So one of them is shooting the arrows, the other one's receiving them. I like it.
Yes.
Bit of give and take. Right, Harpalarp, number 18, please.
Number 18. I'm afraid, there is no George here. I'm currently Georgeless. But he was in here earlier today. So I would like to show you a George, but there is no George available. So, number 18. Let me scroll up. I love forgetting what they were, so I can relearn it with you in real time. Of course, this film won't win, and I can quote basically nothing from it, because It's South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut.
Great movie.
I was not allowed to watch it in the cinema when I was a child, but when I did finally see it, it was the funniest film I'd ever seen. And it's a musical. It's a musical. Who would have thought I would have a musical?
Some of the songs in that are great.
I know. Who would have thought I'd have a musical on my list? I actually have 3 musicals on my list, so look forward to those. But I mean, South Park the movie, Blame Canada. There are other songs in there, I'm sure.
Kyle's
Satan
Mum's a thing.
up there, up where the tires mount. Or what? I can't remember the lines, but Satan sings and he goes all falsetto on us. That was funny. He's good friends, shall we say, with Saddam Hussein. The ultimate rendition of Kyle's Mum is a big fat something, because the initial version of that was in the actual episodes.
Yeah,
and of course Cartman did a full song and dance production of that, complete with the payoff of course, Kyle's mum being there to hear it.
Right behind him.
The V-chip was put in Cartman's head to zap him every time he swore, and of course every time he got zapped it made him swear, so it just got worse and worse.
Gave him
Mr.
Tourette's.
Mackey had that song, we can do it, it's all up to us, okay. So many good songs. Blame Canada, I already said that one. Big Gay Al had a number near the end, I'm sure.
Terrence and Phillip. Uncle Flipper.
Oh, that song, Uncle Flipper.
Was
so good.
Was Chocolate Salty Balls in that, or was that an
That's one
episode?
of the,
No,
that was an episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was just an episode. But yeah, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. The film was so good that shortly after it came out, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, in fact, I think on the red carpet of the release, they were asked if they were going to make a sequel, and they said, we can't top this, so no, there will be a sequel. And of course, they were right. When I was at school, a friend of mine saw it before me, and he goes, "Oh, I saw it, it's a musical." And I was like, "What? A musical? So I'm going to hate it." And then I saw it and went, "This is amazing." So yeah, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. One of 3 musicals on my list.
Daddy Sadiq, I can't reference anything. Next, references everything.
No, actually, I would like to correct you. I didn't say I couldn't reference anything. I was thinking I couldn't quote anything, and I did quote.
Yeah.
I named some songs. That's basically all I could do.
You did well to censor yourself there.
Yes.
You did well to censor yourself as well.
I had to work hard on the censoring.
Being on the Bulk channel is a massive exercise in self-restraint.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so yeah, Panda, what's yours? Your number 18.
My number 18 is, in my opinion, Christopher Nolan's finest hour, and it isn't a Batman film.
Then you're wrong.
No, I'm not, because it's Inception.
Oh, that's so good.
You went for the wrong in. What about Interstellar? Well, actually, Inception's better than Interstellar. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Inception
it
is absolutely amazing. I love the whole idea of like lucid dreaming, and it delves so deeply into that, and it's an amazing film. The visual spectacle of that film as well. Some of the stuff that happens in it, like the whole city flipping up on top of itself, and some of the stuff they can create.
Iconic.
And the characters in it. You've got Tom Hardy, you've got Leonardo DiCaprio, you've got that geezer that played Robin in Batman. What's his name?
Oh, the one from Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah.
What's his name? That guy. You know who I'm talking about.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's the one.
Yeah.
The cast is amazing. It's got
Jason
the old
Gordon-Levitt,
geezer from
or the dude from
Italian Job.
the undersea thing with the guy from Jaws. Oh, what was
What's the old guy called from the Italian Job?
Sequest DSV.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. How did I forget him? He's in it as well, and it's got a great cast, great story, great. Like, the whole idea of the film is a brilliant idea. They just delve into dream inside a dream. I watched it in the cinema the first time I watched it, and I left the cinema thinking, like, what? I was proper confused. And I've watched it God knows how many times since then, and you get a bit more of a better understanding on the second watch. You kind of click what's going on a bit more, and it is.
I only saw it
just
once.
Brilliant. Have you? Watch it again.
It wasn't at the cinema.
It's definitely worth a rewatch.
I did learn a new word from watching that film. Can you guess what word that is?
Confusion.
No, specificity.
Specificity.
That's a nice sounding word.
I'd never heard of that. Yeah, I'd never heard of that word until the film, because Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Tom Hardy, one of them says, "Oh yeah, we need to increase our specificity," and then the other one goes, "Ah, what?" And he goes, Specificity, it's a word. I was like, I'd never heard of it before. I thought, that's cool. But yeah,
absolutely. In my opinion, it is Christopher Nolan's best film. It is an absolutely brilliant film. I haven't seen Tenet, so I can't really say that.
Tenet's not as good as
right, well, there you go.
Like Inception literally can't be topped. It's one of those things. Inception can't be beaten. It's one of those things.
Well, there you
that's
go.
why it's number 18.
Is Inception. It's been topped 17 times.
So very early on in the podcast, please run the poll. I'll chat this. Yeah. So very early on, we're just getting so many big hitting movies here. You cannot 300 buff dudes. Yes, that's right. Basically, there's not gonna be a bad one. They're all gonna be bangers. Yeah. Inception's not on my list. It didn't make my top 25, but I respect it hugely.
It didn't make mine. Yeah. I don't know what to vote for.
It's 300. Come on, the visuals,
It's got to be Inception. You're not voting for South Park?
No.
Because compared, I mean, I respect that too. You know. This is
300 was so awesome. I saw it more than once, but Inception is more mind-bending.
Yeah, but then all Christopher Nolan movies are just too cool for school, aren't they? That's the thing. That's the only problem.
Is that a bad thing?
It is a little bit. It's like the Arctic Monkeys as a band.
Come on, 300.
300 beat Inception with twice the votes at the end of that. More than twice the votes.
Oh gosh, that's a big run. Where'd they all come in? Dang.
That was like a lot of last minute voting.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a very quick break. Chat, you're doing superbly well. We've already been running for 2 hours. We're gonna go running through the last 7 as fast as we possibly can, so we're not keeping everybody up. Okay, but we're gonna have a very, very quick break now. We will be right back. we've done all of that, and I haven't changed a single backing track. We've had the same musical bed all the way through. So intense is the debating that we're having right now. Welcome back, everybody. Wait, yeah, I have put the mic back on.
Yes, good.
Yeah, can you hear all of us?
Okay, so we need to blast through these ones.
We do. Who's first?
We can't have any more Lost Boys discussions.
Who's first? Me? No, is it?
It's Pad
me now?
Yeah.
I think... who said 300 last time?
Me.
Oh.
Yes, that was the first one last time.
Okay, so it's you, then.
So
it's
gotta be
you.
me.
Yeah.
It is indeed your boy Harpalot with number 17 pick. The second musical on my list from the makers of South Park Bigger, Longer and Uncut. Team America World Police.
That's a good
Now,
that is such a good film.
When Panda spoke about how Into the Spider-Verse you kind of forget that it's animated, in Team America World Police you sometimes forget you're watching puppets. Like, it's so good. And it's another film that I can't quote, but I'm going to do it. It's got every single person's national anthem for Valentine's Day. I'm so Ronery. It's got America, hell
so
yeah.
Ronery, so Ronery, sitting here all on my own. There's nobody, just me only. Here I am on my little throne.
Yeah, anyway, it's something like that.
It's so good. It's filling my body with rage. That film is so good. America. If you like Thunderbirds and South Park, you put them together, and that's Team America World Police. It's
Promise
just
me
the
you'll never
disguise
die.
scene.
When they
The
go
disguise
through,
scene.
they go through the whole montage and then they just paint him brown and stick hair on his face. And
That's what
Derp,
they do.
derp, derp, derp. Derp, derp,
And he
derp.
speaks.
it's me! It's me!
He speaks
He
their
kiss me!
He speaks their language, but he says it in the most American accent ever. He's like, Durka Durka, Allah, Jihad. I was watching bits of it the other day and I was like, yes, this is in my list. And yes, it's better than South Park Bigger, Longer. The fact that all three of us just basically started singing it kind of tells me I don't need to continue talking about it, because it's so... Again, it's got heart, it's got funny, it's got gross out humor. It's just a technical marvel, with the fact that it's all puppets and stuff. Apparently it was so hard to make. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, this seems like a bit of a habit with them. They said, we'll never do that again, because it was very difficult to make. There was a puppet sex scene, which is as funny as it sounds.
It's the best love-making scene in cinema.
It might be.
Bold words, but...
They are bold words. But yes, Team America World Police.
I'll tell you what bold
is my
words
number
are.
17.
These are bold words. I promise I will never die.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's going to die then. Oh, man. Oh, the opening scene when they go
In Paris.
They save Paris by destroying it. I watched it. He fired a missile. It hit the Eiffel Tower, which then fell over and destroyed the Arc de Triomphe.
It's how the Avengers save a city.
Yes. Oh my god. So, can you top that? I'm sure you can.
Well, speaking of the Avengers saving a city, this is going to be my first entry from... It's not actually... It's based in that universe. It's my first MCU, basically, entry into this list, and it's Thor Ragnarok. It's... the other two Thor films were way too serious in tone.
You didn't quite hear that. What did you say, Mrs. Bob? There's a yes and a fist bump on the sofa right there.
Exactly. Mrs. Bolt knows.
Yeah.
It was the first two Thor films. The first one wasn't bad. I quite enjoyed that. The second one, it was dull and boring.
Second one was boring.
So with the third one, you got Taika Waititi. He's the director, wasn't he? He's an absolutely brilliant director.
And he's
his
also
sense of humour is amazing.
He's also Korg.
Yeah, he plays Korg. Yeah. He just kind of it takes everything about Thor and just throws it out the window. It's like he hasn't got his long hair anymore. He hasn't got his hammer. He hasn't got anything that's Thor related. But it works. It just works brilliantly, and it is a really, really funny film. One of my favourite scenes in that is actually when Loki goes to visit Thor in the that circular prison thing.
Yeah.
And he's talking to him, and he chucks a stone, and then Korg comes running over, and he I can't say it because he swears, but
yes, he asked the ghost to go away. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way he says it's just brilliant, and the sense of humour in that film, the comedy is absolutely gold, and it changed. It just took it from a serious dull film to a comedy genius film, in my opinion. It flipped it completely, and
they had as much fun with it as they could.
Yeah, exactly, and you can tell because you have great fun watching it. So it's one of my favourite MCU films. It's not the top of the top for me, but definitely
I think it's
by a mile the best Thor film.
Yeah, most people I've spoken to have it in their top 3 MCU films because it is just that good.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Ronery, but it's damn good.
Okay.
On that note, woke.
Full disclosure, I've got Team America World Police a little bit higher up my list. Not much, but a little bit higher up my list.
Mine's in my honourable mentions.
It's Team America World Police is going to be with me till my dying days. Thor Ragnarok is my favourite MCU movie because I know that the comic book lore has been butchered in Infinity War and Endgame. It's easily the best individual standalone hero movie. Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, etc., etc. It's easily the best. It's Captain America. What's the answer to all your problems? Do drugs. You know, it's not the answer we're trying to teach the kids. But we tried desperately to watch Thor as the fam. We got about 20 minutes in and there was too much swearing, and we knew that he was about to tell the ghost to go away. So we thought if it's just the ghost telling the ghost to go away, then maybe we can get away with this. And we just forget that ratings on movies nowadays don't put swearing on the back anymore.
Yeah.
If you're a parent...
Yeah, the ratings are arbitrary and they mean basically nothing.
Yeah, if you're a parent, swearing is no longer... So offensive language or moderate language, it used to be, is not even on the back of a Blu-ray anymore. They just don't do it, which is a problem.
I think they're probably like, well, kids are going to hear it anyway.
Yeah, and because what will happen is they'll have looked up like Marvel movies on YouTube and they'll have just seen those clips, so they're going to be exposed to language. I just wish it wasn't in our house. So those are 2 incredibly worthy shouts, and like I said, Team America World Police is on my list of top 25, and it's a little bit higher. My number 17 is Sin City. Another orgy for the eyeballs.
Yeah, I respect it.
Black and white, a little bit of red, a little bit of gold.
I've seen the first 10 minutes.
Just the first 10 minutes. Well, it's a good 10 minutes. It's a good 10 minutes, okay? You've got classic performances. One of you've got obviously Jessica Alba. Okay.
Oh, now I see why. Yes.
Automatic win.
Clive Owen in one of his best roles ever. He got written out in Sin City 2. They should have kept it as Clive Owen. I think Clive Owen in that the croupier and his little cameo in his little bit in Bourne, Jason, the Bourne Identity. He's amazing, but this is probably his best. You've got.
I'm googling Clive Owen.
British.
I can't picture him.
British acting heavyweight. He's a brilliant dude. You've got who's died? Bruce Willis. Obviously.
Bruce Willis, I know he's in
Elijah Wood's in it as well.
Yeah, Elijah Wood, yes. Frodo is in there. Frodo's in there as a very bad guy.
Frodo himself.
He doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't say a word.
Yeah,
he's
creepy.
But he's got a presence on camera. One of my favourite actors who's reimagined themselves is who's the dude in Iron Man 2? Please help me out here.
Mickey Rourke.
Thank you. Mickey Rourke is sensational. As a Marvel, Harvey or whatever his name. Marv.
Is that Mickey Rourke? I never knew that was Mickey Rourke. I was going to ask who plays Marv.
It's Mickey Rourke. Yeah. Yes, and now you know it's Mickey Rourke. You're like, okay, I see that. I see that. So, again, 3 massive movies there. The darkness and depravity of any of them, but it's Sin City. And then you've got Team America World Police, I think it's a bit low. And then, for me, best Marvel movie of all time is Thor Ragnarok. Debatable, but, you know, some people like the big ones for some reason. I don't know. Wakanda forever. All right, let's go.
The poll is live. The problem with having Team America World Police higher up is that it's not going to get voted in higher up, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that as well, but you know, I just wanted to go full disclosure. I do have it in there a little bit higher up. Yeah, there's some heavyweights before that, but yeah, it's,
I think Thor Ragnarok's going to run away with this one. How many Marvel films do I have in my list? That's a good question.
This is like how many Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat games did I have on my top 25?
I've got one Marvel film in my top 25.
I got.
Mrs. Bulk is not going to vote for Thor. What would you? Because it should be lower down. What would you vote for out of those three? What would you vote for? Oh, she's saying it should be higher up, is what she said.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
I've got it too low. Okay.
Team America or
respect
Sin
that.
City? What do you reckon, Mrs. Bulk? She would say Sin City. You see? So if you do
Well,
anything,
I win
chat.
7-1, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough to sway everybody. You should have come up with that a bit sooner, Mrs. Bulk. Alright, so Thor Ragnarok, I respect it. I don't mind. All three of them, I would watch them happily. Now.
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard nothing but good things about Sin City, and I've heard the sequel is not good, apparently.
Sequel's not good. Sin City, great. 300, great. Sequel, not good. So.
Is there a sequel? Oh, yeah, there is. It's a separate
Exactly. Panda's like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a sequel to 300?
Yeah.
What?
I saw some trailers for it, and I was like,
Yeah, it's 300.
it's not Leonidas, though, is it? Pass.
301. Dalmatians. No, it's.
301 plus views. Alright.
Alright, who's next?
I believe it's Panda.
Panda.
Yeah, well, my number 16. This is going to be a bit of a curveball, to be fair. And I'm looking at it now thinking, I can't believe I put some of these films like Alien below this. But it's a film that I absolutely love, and it's one of the funniest films I've ever seen, and I constantly whack myself whenever I watch this film. It's from the makers of Family Guy. It's A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, I never saw that.
I've not seen it.
You want to watch it? There's a really cool cameo from Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown in a barn with the DeLorean. Obviously, it's set in the Wild West back in the day, and it's a great callback to that. But it's it's basically, as it says on the title, it's just how bad the living conditions were back in the Wild West, but put with a really funny comedic spin. And obviously, is it Seth? What's Seth MacFarlane? He's the main character in it, and his girlfriend leaves him, and it's about his mates trying to put him out of the funk. And then these people, like an outlaw, comes to town, played by Liam Neeson, and Charlize Theron is Liam Neeson's wife, but something happens. Basically, her and his brother come to this town, and then Seth MacFarlane falls in love with her, and then mate comes back. It's just really, really funny. It's one of those films where you just constantly laugh right the way through it, and there's some really gory deaths in it that just come out of nowhere. They'll be like stood there talking, and all of a sudden someone will just get like crushed by something or get run over by a wagon or something, and it's like, see, this is like, people die in the West constantly, but people die at the fair, and they take a photo and the camera explodes, and it's
You're selling it to me.
It sounds funny.
Really, really. If you like Family Guy, it's like that, but set in the Wild West, the comedy of it. And there's a really, really funny scene where he eats some like hash cookies, and he's sat there getting really, really paranoid about this prairie dog that keeps popping up. And
Classic Wild West.
It's brilliant. You want to go, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you like Family Guy and that sort of sense of humour, you will love A Million Ways to Die in the West. It's just a brilliant Seth MacFarlane film. It's better than Ted, if any of you guys like Ted or Ted 2. It's a better film than that. Basically,
I saw it, didn't care for Ted.
Same sort of humour, set in the Wild West, basically, is what A Million Ways to Die in the West is. So,
I have been known to like a bit of Family Guy from time to time, like especially sort of the earlier seasons. I haven't seen much of it lately, so yeah, I'll give that a go.
It's funnier than Family Guy. Yeah, you want to watch it. It's a really.
My only issue with Family Guy is that like, because most of the humour comes from the surprise of the unexpected, so it doesn't have the rewatch value as say something like The Simpsons does, because the humour is usually from the unexpectedness. So.
Yeah. A Million Ways to Die in the West isn't like that. There's only a couple of deaths that come from the humour, and them come from the unexpectedness. But the rest of the film is actually genuinely really funny. So
I can't believe Danny Sadiq has seen that, but he hasn't seen like Ghostbusters or Forrest Gump or anything like. Okay, Danny. Okay.
A Million Ways to Die in the West. Nice. 16. Terminator.
ooh, it's a little bit low.
You might say it's a little bit low.
Pretty good.
You might say it's a little bit low. In the same way as I said Team America World Police was a little bit low. But the Terminator, the original, frankly, the best of the Terminator movies. Yes, Terminator 2 is a great movie. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a fantastic movie that builds on the foundation.
It's so much better than the first one.
Terminator 2 might be objectively the greatest film ever made.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I have harps on that.
Now with Terminator, you set the scene, you lay the foundation. You've got the Cyberdyne Systems Model 101 as a heartless, cold, killing machine of an assassin. And you have Kyle Reese, who's sent back to protect Sarah Connor, and you have all of that.
It's so good.
When you watch Terminator, and my first watching of Terminator was on BBC Two. It was on something called Videodrome or Moviedrome. I can't remember. It was one of those two. Anyway, they used to do a late night thing where they showed a great movie, and it was always introduced by this movie bloke who wasn't Mark Comode or the other guy. Right, it's another dude. It was an American bloke, and he introduced James Cameron's Terminator. Oh, sorry, James Cameron again. Aliens, Terminator. He did the same. He directed both.
Titanic.
And Titanic. Yeah. I don't think Titanic's going to make it on the list.
It's arguably one of his best. It's going in my honourable mentions now. This is a great film.
I remember the first time I watched Terminator. I was probably about 12 or something like that, and I was watching it with my parents. And the bit near the end where he's in a lorry and it crashes and gets set on fire. And I remember turning to my dad and going, "He's dead now,
He's got to be dead, right?
He's got to be dead." And my dad was like, "Maybe."
Yeah, and that... okay, the special effects don't hold up. Were they doing another movie of mine that's a lot higher up? But the special effects, okay, they don't necessarily hold up. It's clearly like a claymation droid at the end, but...
I don't think they're that bad for its age, though.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but you've got. But when you've got it,
no, that was the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it the 80s?
But they also
I want to say 85. Yeah, because Terminator 2 was 92. I know that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
84, 85, or 86 is one of those, and
it's about as old as me.
Yeah, and then you've
Terminator 2 was 91.
Yeah.
As old as Sonic the Hedgehog.
There you go. But you've got in all of that, you've got the music, you've got the really jarring music with the strings and all that. As the Terminator's chasing them down.
Terminator was scary.
Yeah, that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a sci-fi horror. And you have interspersed with that the gripping story of Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, and how he just knows that he's been sent essentially to his death. But he just doesn't know that he's also the father of the future, and all of that. So, come on, it's Terminator is up against A Million Ways to Die in the West. Which, if the
Does
Terminator
have a stoned guy getting paranoid at a prairie dog? Because...
I've got to highlight the message. Ask Mrs. Bulk opinion also. What is it? Oh, we haven't heard the third movie. Go ahead.
We haven't heard the third. Yeah, go Hobbs.
I mean, look, Terminator might not have a stoned guy laughing at a prairie dog or whatever, but A Million Ways to Die in the West doesn't have Arnie, as far as I know. What is my number 16? Let's have a look. Number 16. Well, I've lost. It is another film from the makers of Team America World Police and South Park Bigger, Longer and Uncut. Their best film.
Oh,
it is a film called Basketball.
Oh, it's a great film.
Basketball is so good. If you haven't seen it, basically these guys invent this sport out on their front drive. No, they invent it at a party they went to, and the sport is basically like horse, where you have to take a shot and get the ball in the hoop, but the other team are allowed to psych you out while you're taking your shot. They can't touch you, but they can do basically anything they want to try and psych you out, to make you miss. And this takes off and becomes an actual professional sport, and they become like big superstars and everything, and the fame goes to their head. And it's from the makers of South Park and Team America World Police, so and it stars them as the two main characters. So you can imagine how funny that film is. Some of the psych outs, some of the ways they come up to just throw people off their game. No one's going to vote for it because they haven't seen it, but it is the second best film of these three that have been mentioned, and I saw it so many times because it's so funny. It's unbelievable.
That psych out that wasn't supposed to be a psych out after he's been upstairs playing with the toy.
Yeah, he's like, he goes, oh, what a pretty smells pubic hairs. Yeah, and then they go, and he misses the shot, and then he goes, oh, another one. Oh, Basketball is so good. It's so good that after I watched it for the first time, I wished that was a real sport so I could watch it on TV. Basketball, it's
That's a good shout.
not going to win, but I
We've
love
both
it.
gone down the comedy route there, and Bolt's dropped Terminator 2 low, so...
I love it.
No, Terminator 1. You guys have clearly got T2 a little bit further up as well. So
And T1, I've got both of them higher than that.
The poll is now live.
let's go, poll.
Everybody.
Let's go, poll. I know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where most people
West.
are going, let's face it.
You're going to the west.
Come on, Terminator. Come on, Terminator.
Right now,
This is
everyone's
pretty
like,
much a done deal at this
basketball.
point, isn't it?
What is this?
They both sound like a lot of fun. Something that doesn't sound like a lot of fun is having a cyborg killing machine running after you.
No.
And let's face it, without Terminator, I've got no comic material when I'm streaming Brian on a Tekken stream. Mrs.
No
Balk, your
comic
opinion?
material.
I think Mrs. Balk may have fallen asleep. So
Wake her up and tell her to vote for my one.
I loved your comment the other day, Bob. You said, I've been playing Variationless Brian for years. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, well, I think this is about how I predicted these three would have shaken out.
look, I respect both, and you need to have some kind of just entertaining. It doesn't have to always be a serious movie that provokes your thoughts. Sometimes it can just be something that is just entertaining. And
Well, this is what I'm
Terminator
saying.
is
This
that
is-
movie.
Yeah, this isn't my list of what I think are the best films, because there's a lot of films that I think are objectively amazing films that just aren't in my list. But this is just films that I think of and go, oh, I love it so much. That's basically how it is.
Right.
So yeah, Terminator taking the 16th spot.
I think it's me next, and it's gonna. Oh, sorry, hang on. I better circle that because it. Won.
Yes, it is Bolt next.
It's a film from 1987, which, by the way,
No,
Which-
don't put that...
Terminator also was 1987. I remember now.
All right. Okay.
Because they're the same year as each other. These two movies
It was
came
84.
out in the, was it
Terminator
84?
was 84.
Terminator was 84. Okay, well then
It
Terminator's the
was
same
7
year,
years
isn't it?
before T2, wasn't it? T2
No,
was...
Bulk. This is too low, Bulk. It's too low.
It's
It's
way too low.
It's a movie from 1987, and
Don't
it's
vote for Bolts.
it's RoboCop.
That's not what I was thinking, but it's
Exactly.
also too
That's what I
low.
was
Thank you very
That's what I was
much.
thinking.
Thank you very much, people. Thank you very much.
Mounty,
RoboCop.
you're not allowed to vote for this one.
Omni
I think me
Consumer
and you were thinking of
Products.
the same thing there.
All of the blackest of black humour interspersed with hyper-violence. Everything that you love about RoboCop is... and by the way, the other movie that came out in 1987 is way higher up my list.
Yeah, the one that me and Harps were stressing out
Good.
about then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not stressing...
Yes.
Don't worry. Okay, the question with this top 25 of all time is just how high does that movie go up? That's the question on anyone's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you'll think I've got it too low, but it's still quite high.
Well, if you got it below a certain number... Oh my god, you got to have it... Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
well, it's a big high.
so where are we? RoboCop is my 15th favorite movie of all time. It's got the one of the most lovable cyborg you could possibly hope for, who receives the most brutal end to their human life, flailing as they do in front of a 21 shotgun parade. So, Harplop, where are you going with number 15?
Okay, yes. We don't need to dwell on RoboCop because we all know how awesome it is. I will say that it might show up higher up in the list. That's what I'm saying. Okay, 15. Okay, this is what I put, so I'm reading it out. Number 15.
Daddy Sadiq, 87, but the character was only invented this year.
Who's made up for Mortal Kombat. I'm going to say Spider-Man 2. Brilliant but lazy. It was tough of me to think. When I first saw Into the Spider-Verse, I was like, that's the best Spider-Man film ever. But then again, the honeymoon period wore off. I watched it again just 2 days ago, and I was like, that film's still amazing. It's going in my top 25. But it's not brilliant but lazy, is it? Spider-Man 2 is so good. It's about as perfect as a Spider-Man film as you can get.
If Panda comes in and says Spider-Man 2, it's the best Spider-Man movie ever, and both of you having said Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider movie ever.
I don't know if Harps agreed with me on that one, but yeah.
When you said Into the Spider-Verse was the best film ever, I sat there and didn't say anything. Spider-Man 2... no, there aren't two Spider-Mans, Heracles. There's Spider-Man 2, and then with the Andrew Garfield series, there was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's the difference. The word amazing is in there to differentiate between the good series and the bad ones, titled The Amazing. Spider-Man 2, I mean, Alfred Molina, I'd never heard of him until Spider-Man 2. I'd heard of him after Spider-Man 2. I'd heard of him. I mean, Spider-Man 2 is the one with the iconic scene when he's stopping the train with his webs, and that is the canon universe in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, the universe Peter Parker, the original Peter Parker, not Peter B.
Parker.
Yeah, the universe Peter Parker is from is the Tobey Maguire universe because everyone knows it's the best. And
we have to apologise to the chat here, because if Heracles was able to be with us tonight on camera, you would see a rendition of the holding the train back, but because only Heracles is buff enough to actually pull this off.
All right. I mean, I've done it a couple of times on stream, like when I was playing Spider-Man on PS4. They have that bit in there, and it's like,
yeah, it's not as buff as Heracles.
No, unfortunately,
just look at his little avatar here.
Pale in comparison. All right, so Panda, what are you going to beat RoboCop with?
Oh, I've got a really, really good film here, but I don't know if many people are going to have seen it.
You're doing a bulk from the last one, aren't you?
This film is absolutely amazing, and the cast in it is unreal. It's The Departed.
It's a great movie. The Departed
I've heard of it.
is a great movie.
It's one of my favourite portrayals of a character by Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
And that film is absolutely amazing. It's got Matt Damon in it. It's got
Ben Affleck. It's got DiCaprio.
Ben Affleck. It's got loads of people in it. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the main characters in it. Like I say, Matt
is it
Damon,
wicked awesome?
It is wicked awesome. It's basically there's such a great twist at the end as well. It's basically there's an undercover cop that goes into the gang, but the gang have also got an undercover gangster in the police, and it's one of those films again. I seem to like where the storylines sort of interweave with each other in that quite nicely. But
it's a remake of an older movie. It's a remake.
Is it really?
It's a remake of an older movie of exactly the same plot, but obviously it's got the bigger production and stuff like that. I can't remember if the older movie is called The Departed as well, but it's a remake of an older.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It is a brilliant film. Again, it's got decent action scenes in it. Again, it's quite a story-driven film with just a great ensemble cast. It's all about sort of what's going on with the gang and the police that are investigating this gang. And Jack Nicholson's the head of the gang, and he's got sort of all these people sort of working for him and that. And it's hard to explain what it's about, other than the fact that the gang have got an undercover gangster in the police, and the police have got an undercover copper in the gang, basically. And they're both trying to feed off of each other and sort of outdo each other and get Jack Nicholson put away, basically. But
it sounds like Face Off meets Avatar.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad description of it, to be fair, but yeah, it's one of my favourite Leonardo DiCaprio films. So yeah, The Departed is my number 15.
Okay, the poll is now live. We've got.
Forgive us, chat, if we passionately argue about our movies, because these are the top 25 favourites of all time. You know.
I have to vote as much as I want to vote RoboCop. I can't vote for a film that's guaranteed to be voted in later on in the list. I can't.
Or is it though? Is it that probably if it's around 12, then yeah, it's probably going to. Because no one's going to have seen it.
I've heard nothing but things about The Departed, but until today I knew nothing about it other than those actors were in it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely worth a watch. Great movie.
Yeah, Danny Sadiq saying the ending was emotional with Doc Ock drowning with that big sun ball thingy. Yeah, there's so many classic lines when he's like, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, and when he gets the precious trillium from Harry and stuff. And I mean that fight scene between Doc Ock and Peter on the train, that's just one of the all-time great comic book fight scenes.
Oh,
it really is.
We got a second vote for RoboCop. That's more than I thought it would do against this young crowd who like.
If people had seen The Departed, it would have won that.
No, Departed's a great shout. It's an awesome.
Spider-Man 2
shout.
takes number 15.
Nice.
Okay. Is it me now?
Yes. Wait.
Panda, me, Parks.
Panda went last just
so
now.
Panda,
I went last just now.
so yeah, it's you now,
Harps
Panda.
first.
No,
It's Harps.
Harps. Okay, fine.
You went. It was you, Harps, me. So now it's Harps, me, you.
It went Panda, me,
Well,
Harps. Now it's
Harps.
you now, Panda.
No, I was was I last? I was last.
Yeah.
Was I? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
last.
Panda was last just now.
Oh, so it's me then.
So it's Harps. No, it's Harps.
How can it go from you
Yeah.
to me to Harps? Because it goes clockwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would have been Bulk, me, and then Panda,
Yeah.
which
you
means
went
Bulk went
that
first last time,
Oh.
which means I'm first this time.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how clocks work.
Yes. See, I'm so old. I've forgotten how clocks work, and I was there at the creation of time.
All right, Chronica. Okay. Okay, well, I don't think this is going to win, but it means a lot to me. God dag nabbit. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Monsters Inc.
It's a good
Ooh,
movie.
good film. Good
Good
shout.
film.
I
One
like
of the
that film.
Yeah.
one of the best and largely underrated Pixar films. It is
movies,
so
yeah.
good. It's so creative. It's so imaginative. It's so funny. It's so filled with details and nuance and heart and lovable characters and hateful characters. And there's just nothing wrong with it. Am I trying to say it's a perfect film? I might be. It's so good. And we all know Monsters Inc. Hey, Hunter says kids movies. It's not a kids movie.
No,
it's
Danny
a film
Steek.
for everyone.
Danny Steek said kids
I think-
movies. I've seen it because he's
Oh.
now working with kids, so he might have seen it there.
Of course. Yeah, Monsters Inc. is great. It's so
Yeah.
just awesome.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Panda's number 14.
Coming in with
my
the
number
soft
14
Code Red.
is-
Code Red.
Is that?
Then we got 2319. We got 2319.
Yes.
I'm watching you, Wazowski.
Oh, yeah. All this
I'm
paperwork.
watching.
Wouldn't it be great if it all just blew away? Oh, Billy Crystal. I thought, just one more aside. I saw there was a behind-the-scenes thing. I think it was on the DVD for Monsters Inc. where they were having interviews with the cast, and Billy Crystal said, "Yes, I'm the idiot that passed up on the script for a film called Toy Story," and of course, and then the film blew up. So when they knocked on my door and said, "You want to be in Monsters Inc.?" You can bet your butt I signed right up.
Yeah, Carlos is right. Pixar films are sick. They make some great movies. Pixar do.
Yeah, really.
Right. Yeah. Number 14. I actually said that my last film that I had on the list, like number 15, was my favourite Leonardo DiCaprio film, but I was wrong because I've just seen what I've got here. It's Wolf of Wall Street.
Great
You guys
movie.
seen that? Absolutely brilliant film.
I saw
It's,
it and didn't think much of it, to be honest.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I absolutely love that film. It had one of the scenes in it where he's taken the Quaaludes at that is he at like a country club and he tries to get in his car and drive home and he thinks he's done it well, and then it shows what actually happened and he didn't do it well at all. But the way Leonardo DiCaprio acts that scene is absolutely brilliant. It's got it's basically the life of the autobiography of, is it Jordan Belfort, his name? He's a crooked Wall Street, whatever you call, hedge fund manager, whatever they are, basically just an investor in that. But
He shorted
yeah,
some
it's basically
GameStop
about
shares
his-
recently.
what's that?
He shorted some GameStop shares recently.
But yeah, basically it's his autobiography, and it is just a brilliantly done film. It's really funny in places, and it's got Margot Robbie in it, so automatic win.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Hey, it's not Jessica Alba. Come on.
I
Right.
mean, it's close.
So, is it my turn now? Or...
I think Panda's
Yeah, you go.
finished.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't want to do a Tom Brady and cut you off. God, did I just said that? I'm so sorry. Sorry, Tom. All right, number 14, The Running Man.
Is it really 14 worthy?
Yes,
Is it?
'Cause you-
We're talking about the Arnie film, yes?
yes, got some.
Too low.
Got absolute bangers. I've got absolute bangers above this, and I had to put it in somewhere, and I was going down top 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got to put it in somewhere.
Yeah.
I did that with Alien.
Yeah, I've got to put it in somewhere. Running Man. Okay. You make sure there's room in there for my fist, because I'm going to put it in your stomach and rip out your goddamn spine!
Here is Sub-Zero.
No,
now Plain Zero.
Okay, so The Running Man, Killian, everyone's favourite game show host.
It's showtime.
It is. Whitman,
it's so
Price,
good.
and Haddad, last season's winners. Last season's losers. So, yeah, we all know about it. The Running Man. I think this would have been getting to the point when Arnold Schwarzenegger was reaching an apex in his action film career, and this is one of those movies that came out. The
Christmas tree, light bulb.
Yes, the Butcher of Bakersfield himself. And I think after this point, you ended up going into Arnie films that weren't perhaps as brilliant. Running Man for me is the point where he was just at his most brilliant. Just walking through prison with a girder on your shoulder.
I think it's probably the second most Arnie film.
Yeah,
that exists.
I would agree. I mean, there's Commando. That's an Arnie movie, but it's not. I think Commando is too.
That's the most Arnie film there is.
For me, Commando is too. It's too everything-ist. It's too destructively male. It's got a point. There's a point in Commando when he actually says, "Boy George, why don't they just call him Girl George?" There's a point where there's homophobia. There's rampant sexism all the way through. There is unhealthy machismo in Commando, which prevented me from putting it anywhere near my list. Obviously, it's the most. I've just become Mr. Universe and I'm down doing movies about it. But for me, Commando is not is not going to be in the list because it's just not friendly and nice in that respect. But Running Man is okay. He's just a dude trying to get by. Happens to have a 47-inch chest, but he's just a dude trying to get by. So Running Man is my pick.
Okay, the poll is now live. So we've got Monsters Inc., The Wolf of Wall Street, and The Running Man. The Running Man. Yeah, I can't say... It's been a long time since I've seen Commando. I don't recall picking up on much of any of that stuff. I bet if I watched it now, I'd be like, he's right.
Yeah, you probably would do, yeah.
Who's
But, I mean,
Monsters Inc?
I watched that.
Oh
There's
my
a film
god, people. I'll tell you, while the voting's coming, I'll tell you a little story about Monsters Inc. So, Mrs. Bulk and I went to go and see a couple of movies at the cinema. One of them was Blair Witch Project. Now, we were so genuinely shook up in the cinema watching Blair Witch Project as we did. Okay, we were genuinely shook up. We didn't speak to anyone, made no contact with anyone on the way outside the movie. In the cinema itself, people were slagging it off going to the toilet, all right, when coming out of this. And we were like, how could you possibly say that after witnessing what we just witnessed? And we got back to the flat, and we had to put on something happy before going to bed. And that thing was Monsters Inc., your 14th favourite movie of all time. It's a good movie. It's not better than The Running Man, let's face it. But I guess
The Running Man may show up later.
It may show up later, so we'll give it a pass. Right. Who is it now? It's
I think it's me now.
Yeah, go.
It's Panda next. Yes.
Yeah. Jaws.
Good shout. Good shout.
Absolutely brilliant film.
Let me tell you, Panda, we're going to need a bigger list.
Nice, I see what you did there, Bob. Jaws speaks for itself. It's an absolutely brilliant monster movie. I say monster, it's just a big shark, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. Like,
it's a monster movie.
Yeah. So Danny appreciated that joke, Bob. But yeah, it kind of speaks. I can't really big it up enough. It's just a brilliant film. It's got some great one-liners, as Bolt just proved, and
it literally scared a generation of people from going into the sea.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to the beach now.
It also single-handedly was responsible for the worldwide slaughter of millions of sharks.
Bulk's just ruining these films.
Let's gloss over that, shall we? Let's
Just
gloss
stop.
over
Don't
that.
listen to Bulk. Let's just say Jaws is
Alright.
brilliant. Vote for
Bulk.
Jaws next.
Bulk, there's a film coming up in your list that was made in 1987 that has some very problematic homophobic language in it. Just want to throw that out there.
No, that's different. That is
That's
indicative.
different.
That's
'Cause he's a bad
indicative
guy.
of a specific person's character, and it's important to establish that person's character. If we're talking about the same movie, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, if we're talking about the same, but let's not dwell on what's clearly not going to appear.
That's for later.
Yeah, let's
save that for Ron.
I'm thinking that's a next week thing.
yes, I'm thinking it might be. So,
Right, so
yes,
Bulk, 13. Jaws,
I
what
will
you going
qualify
against
that
Jaws
far in orders of magnitude more sharks are killed by fishermen who need them for shark fin soup than were culled because of Jaws.
well,
let's just put that
they
out.
want them for shark fin soup.
No. They literally just went out, and after Jaws came out, people went out and killed sharks. But not to the extent that regular.
I think Bulk's cheating here. He's just trying to put a downer on
No.
Arsenal.
I have.
I know. I'm only playing.
I have no vote in this one because mine is Team America World Police, and
is
I'll
it?
be sitting here in the bottom right-hand corner, being so lonely, so lonely.
I mean, it wasn't voted in last time.
Oh, was it not? Did it not win?
No, it didn't. Because someone kept saying they had it later on in their list.
Team America World Police. What can I possibly say about it being the one of the best movies of all time? It's going to be engraved and tattooed on people's persons when they're trying to explain what happened in the 20th and 21st centuries. Okay, it is an iconic moment in international cinema. I think it's a sort of movie that you would use on a first date. Absolutely, it's the kind of movie that you would use at a wedding reception, playing in the background. It's the sort of movie that you would have at your child's christening, playing in the background, definitely. And as a family get-together movie, whether it's Christmas or a wake, I think it's the sort of movie that you'd bring out in there. In fact, I might actually put in my will that when my casket is being rolled into the oven, that this should be playing in the background, at least some of the classic tracks, talking about STDs that everyone's got.
Freedom casts a bucko.
Yes. And frankly, right now, what we need is a montage. Okay.
We need a montage.
Even Rocky had a montage.
And my favourite line from that song, he goes, you gotta fade out at the end of a montage.
AIDS.
I remember it.
Everybody's got AIDS.
That scene comes out of nowhere because I remember it's just after the Paris scene. I was sat,
Yeah, it really is.
absolutely wetting myself, and then it goes, "Everyone has AIDS," and I was like, "What?"
It's just the way the song ends. It just goes AIDS, 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 AIDS. Oh man, it's better than Jaws. There, I said it.
Yes,
I've only seen Jaws once.
Oh, so you've also put Jaws?
No, I have not put Jaws. I just need to put Team American World Police in here. My number 13. Let's have a look. Because I think I know what it is. It's a little film called The Running Man. So I just want to point out, did The Running Man win the previous one?
It didn't. Monsters Inc. beat it.
Monsters Inc. beat it. So everyone knows The Running Man should win this one.
Does anyone else have Team America higher up though? Is it just me and you, Harps, on this?
Yeah, I haven't got it.
Bulk, I can tell you this. The Running Man is higher up on my list than Team America World Police. I can tell you that. And the poll is live.
Let's
People know
go,
what Jaws
poll.
is.
Okay, it's down to you. It is down to you. I'm appealing to your conscience. I nearly voted for the wrong one then. Jaws is a worthy entrant, but if we don't, this is going to be like, who's voting? It's the kids, isn't it? All right. So, this might end up like Metal Gear Solid from the last podcast, isn't that? all of these things are universally chosen by our group, by our panel, but they just don't get voted for, and then nothing gets in. So
what we're
When
learning
Buster
is,
Move 2 beat something that it really shouldn't have done.
I think what we're learning is that Bolt's audience has no taste.
Yeah. Well, he's just.
how
don't
can you
vote for
say
House.
that? How can you say that of a man that wears a vest and a tie?
He's just insulted everyone.
He did.
Don't vote for him.
Hey, it's Panji. Welcome home to the chat. Please vote for Team America World Police while you're there. You got a second.
No, vote for Jules. Jules is mine. Yeah, let's get it.
Jaws did win.
It means
Rightfully so, as
a
it
worthy
should.
victory.
so.
Yeah.
We have to hope that Harpalop. We have to hope that Panda and Iroquois both have Running Man and Team America World Police in their top.
Well, I was going to ask
12s.
Panda. I think he said earlier Team America's in his honourable mentions.
It is, and I don't have Running Man anywhere near my list, so.
Delete your list then.
We've gone and stuffed ourselves up, Harpalop. We've gone and stuffed
It's the
ourselves
second.
up.
It's the
We
second,
have to hope that Iroquois is going to come in and save the day. Yes. Okay.
Iroquois, write your list now. Number 1, The Running Man. Number 2, Team America World Police.
I wouldn't. No, don't go trampling on 1 and 2, please. Don't go trampling over 1 and 2.
Yeah,
They
put them
mean-
where you wish, as long as they're on your list and
Exactly.
people vote for them.
Okay. It's me now, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah, it is.
so
Eh.
this is one of my favourite
Yeah, 'cause
movies of
I
all
did
time,
yours.
and it's also probably not going to win, but it formed me as a person. It's Dune. Dune the movie.
That's all I have to say about that is.
I've never seen it, but people keep talking about how awesome it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And they're excited for the
Thanks.
upcoming remake.
If you could Google the trailer for Dune right now, and you'd look at it and go, "That looks really good. It looks really good."
I googled it and I said, I have no idea what this is about. Something about spies.
Yeah. But there's a Command and Conquer game about it, where you have to farm the spice, the spice melange on the desert planet of Dune, or they call it Arrakis, but they call it Dune.
Arrakis, that's
Yeah.
subtle.
Yes, Arrakis. No, not Doom. I thought you said Doom.
What do you-
So, Carl MacLachlan, one of my favourite actors of all time, in the same vein as Jessica Alba, Sean Young.
that guy.
No, she's not a
Did he
guy.
play the-
She's not a guy. Sean Young's
No,
not
no,
a guy.
no, the actor whose name I've already forgotten. Carl MacLachlan.
Carl
Wasn't he
MacLachlan.
the bad guy in the first Flintstones film?
Yes, he's also the bad guy in Striptease. No, what's the one with that? With that really bad Showgirls, the really bad sexy movie. It's a really bad one. But anyway, Dune, it's a cinematic masterpiece, Dino De Laurentiis masterpiece. The music is just anthemic all the way through and world setting. You've got Sting in there, like Sting from Sting and the Police. Roxanne!
Not the WWE.
No, not that guy. The actual, like, actually Sting.
The real Sting.
Yeah, really Sting. Got a man who just passed away recently. You've got Max von Sydow, and you've also got this guy who just passed away recently from a German actor who just passed away recently.
Christopher Plummer?
No. But anyway, absolutely epic movie. I hope it does get some votes in. Sandworms and sound guns. Okay, it's great.
Sandworms? You mean Beetlejuice?
I hope anyone who's seen it will. Yeah, Sting the guitarist and tantric lover. Yes. All right.
Yes.
Harpalop, take it away.
Okay, we're on number 12 now?
Yeah, 12.
We are on number 12 now. I don't have to say anything about this because I can just say the word RoboCop.
Which didn't beat Spider-Man 2.
There you go.
RoboCop
Oh,
is still
wait,
up for
wait.
grabs, people.
Are we talking about 1987?
Yes, this is the good
Not the
RoboCop.
2014. 2004. Was it 2014?
I liked
enjoyed
it.
that
Yeah.
film, but
I liked
wasn't. I liked it as well.
Yeah,
but it
I-
wasn't. It wasn't OG RoboCop.
No,
so
I liked it because it referenced the old one, and there were so many
Yeah.
references that were made very respectfully.
with the paint job thing,
Yeah.
with that scene where they're trying to
I-
decide what to paint it in.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I didn't like it because it was basically worse in every single way than the original. So there's
Yeah,
that.
but if you've got something that's amazing and something that's worse in every single way, it can still be good.
Yeah,
So
Sometimes it can, but it can also make you say, why did you bother if you knew you couldn't better?
yeah, true. That's true. I'll give you that.
This is
Yeah.
why,
This is Robocop
this is
3
why
now.
Mrs. Bulk ended up marrying Mr. Bulk.
Robocop 3. I Chandler clicked Robocop 3 away from my memory. Robocop 2 is good, but it's even Robocop 2 is not even on the same level as the first.
It was getting there, and then 3 was just nah.
He's like, what do you mean make the kid leave? What do you mean? And then they like start cutting him open. I was like, that's pretty grim.
Why just, if you know you can't do any better, just stop. And that's why Mr. and Mrs. Panda are Mr. and Mrs. Panda, and Mr. and Mrs. Bulk and Mr. and Mrs. Bulk, because they realise
they can't do any better.
They couldn't do any better. So
No 2014 remakes around those parts.
exactly.
Right, is it me?
Okay, so yeah, Panda.
You have to pardon my French on this one, but my
Never.
number 12 is Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. It is an absolutely brilliant film. It's got a great cast. It's got Brad Pitt in it again. It's got one of my favourite antagonists I've ever seen in a film. What's his name? The guy
Christoph
that plays
Waltz.
Dennis. That's the one, Christoph Waltz. Yeah, he plays
That's a legendary scene.
Hans Lander. He is absolutely brilliant. Now he's so intimidating without even needing to act intimidating. He just is the way because obviously he's a Jew hunter and he goes down hunting. But he plays that part absolutely brilliant.
That opening scene is some of the most tense cinema I've ever watched.
Yeah, when you know that the Jews are hiding under the floorboards and that, and then he finds out they're there and tries to act like he doesn't know they're there and speaks in English because they don't speak. Oh, it's just brilliant. It's a brilliantly done film. Obviously, Quentin Tarantino is absolutely brilliant. Is he director again? I don't know. I never know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I never know what director and producer means, but yeah, basically. He's just a great director, and it's a brilliant film. One of his best. I had another one on my list, but I had to relegate it to an honorable mention.
I've just got one word. Dry.
Yeah, the way he does that. It's Michael Fassbender, isn't it? They're in the thing, and he's pretending to be. He does it like that.
He does. He goes through the whole. Have you seen it, Harp? You have seen it, right?
Once, many years ago.
Okay, it's that.
I remember the Jew bear.
Really
I remember the Jew bear with a baseball bat.
Yeah, the
that
bear
scene
Jew,
when
comes
you've got
out,
the SS officer and he's fishing around, and Michael Fassbender is the British spy, and he's fluent in German. He's selling it. He's doing very well, and then he slips up one time when he asks
he orders
for
3 scotches like that instead of like that. Doesn't
exactly. Yeah. So the German way for saying 3, and then the British way for saying
And they're both sat there with guns pointed at each other, and they just end up shooting. The whole bar just erupts.
Now, on that, I've got some very, very close German friends who in karate, and together we say "drei." So it even translates in real German. And when I was able to go over to Germany and they come over here and go to bars and whatever, we were able to. We're buying drinks for each other. It's one of those things. We love that.
Nice.
So brilliant Quentin Tarantino film there.
Yeah. So there's there's 3 good movies.
That is.
If anyone in the chat has seen Dune, they might vote for it. Please put the poll up. But it's up against 2 great. I don't think Inglourious. Where's the poll?
I can't put the poll up.
Why not?
Because even though they spell the word differently, it won't allow it.
Take the last word off then.
Take out.
I just put Inglourious B. It wouldn't let me do it even though it's spelled differently because Twitch is like words. Okay. Well, it's all. I mean, look.
It's a tough one.
They're all good. I've only seen 2 out of the 3, but I know they're all good. I don't know if RoboCop's going to show up again higher in the list.
No, I don't think it will.
Can you have a top 25 without RoboCop in it?
I mean, clearly everyone's happy to have it without Running Man. Or Team America World Police.
Yeah, but RoboCop's better than those. That's why it's higher up in my list.
Someone vote for Inglourious. It's a great movie. I mean, it's going up against RoboCop, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. It is great.
Will Trapp and Hey It's Panji, welcome to the chat. Welcome home. Vote for June, please.
Get your votes in, guys. I only see 4 votes. You need to get
where's your votes, people? Where is everybody?
Click the poll in the top of the chat and get your votes in.
Heracles has gone to bed and he's taken 5 votes with him. This is the power of the Tinder legend.
I mean, RoboCop did deservedly win
Okay,
that.
I can't be unhappy. RoboCop is on my list, and I can't be unhappy that it's won a slot. So yeah,
No, Carlos, you can very much vote if you haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen June, and I voted. And if you've seen none of them,
vote for
just
your
listen.
favourite.
Listen
Or
to your
listen to-
heart.
Yeah, and listen to how we describe them.
Or just vote. When in doubt, vote for RoboCop.
This is the. This is
I
the-
mean, yeah, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, if you can't figure it out, just vote for an MK character. I see what you guys are about.
Oh, mercy.
Okay, so
Mercy
now
me.
this is the last one for tonight, because next week it will be our top 10. Yeah.
Indeed.
Who's first?
It's
This is number 11.
It's
it
Bulk,
would
isn't
be. Oh, it is me now. No, I started. I did that. I started with June, didn't I? So it's
You
now
did.
Hearts.
So it's me
Oh, you
first.
did
Yes.
those harps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 11. Trying to think of the best way to. I'm just going to say get to the chopper. There we go, I said it. Predator is number 11. Bulk might have things to say about that.
I've got a lot of things to say about that. It's too low.
You're
There
right,
are
that's because-
films. There are films better than Predator, or films I prefer, and I love Arnie films. You have to understand this. I love Arnie films, and Predator is third of the Arnie films I have on my list. Just
Oh, I
throwing
can't believe
that
you've
one out.
done this.
It's Predator. I mean, come on, get to the chopper. I mean, when
Yeah, but it's
When
too
Mac-
low.
when
Just bear
Mac
in mind,
dies and you
chat,
see his head just get, it's such a fake head. It's so hilarious.
Have you seen that parody of that? It's like, why are you shaving? You don't even have a beard. What video is that from?
I don't know.
There was a song, it was a funny, jokey song of it, because Mac's constantly shaving even though he's got no facial hair.
Yes, yeah, it's a stress thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of things to say about Predator that I'll be saying next week, but it doesn't get voted
Yeah,
here. And
same. Don't vote for Predator, it's too low.
This is way too low for that movie. All right, this is
agreed.
way too low for that movie.
Well, I've got some god tier stuff above it. That's the problem.
Even the second one should be higher than that.
Yeah, perhaps.
The second one's good, but it's not top
Yeah,
25.
no, alright, it's
Close.
not.
Interesting fact from Will Trap there in the chat. Alex Murphy was chosen Peter Weller for Alex Murphy was chosen for his role as RoboCop because of his strong Catholic faith. Yeah.
That's random and
I didn't know that.
a really weird reason to hire someone, but okay.
There we go.
They're like you're pretty religious. You're hired. Okay.
Yeah, because
Can
it
you
means
act?
that
No.
so when you get shot a lot
mean, he
by
can,
12
but-
gauge shotguns, can you go, "Oh God"?
Can you go?
mean it. Can you say it
for
with
like 30
vigour?
seconds straight?
I've got the best story about that, by the way. That's another day. All right, Panda, what's your number 11?
I really hope you've got a good one here, Bolt, because I don't want Predator to win this.
I don't want Predator to win this. I've got a good one, but I don't want
Yeah,
Predator
but-
to win this. And
Well, my
mine's
number 11
very good.
My number 11 was Terminator, but it's gone because someone took that at 16th. So
Yeah, Terminator's been voted. It's been locked in at
exactly.
16.
So I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm out of this
Okay.
one.
All right.
So
So it's down to
better have a good one, Bolt.
this is a good one. Now, I'm going to have to appeal to the chat on basis of
Oh,
this
God.
being just an
Hearts.
incredible
Hearts
movie
is one.
from 1989. That is a great movie. That is one of the greatest movies of all time from 1987. Definitely doesn't deserve to be only number 11. All right, but this movie from 1989 is, frankly, irreplaceable and unbeatable in its franchise. Also, I'm going to have to appeal to the chat and just suggest that Predator's going to appear a lot higher up in
Yeah, at least
at
one
least
more time. higher
3
up.
of the other lists that you're about to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but will it beat what it's up against though? That's the
yes,
thing.
Yes, it
hands
should
down
do.
because it's Predator.
Hang on, hang on.
So, the film from 1989 that I'm referring to,
Oh, I know what it
It's-
is.
Batman.
Come on.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, Batman. The original. Jack Nicholson.
Just bear in mind what we said about Predator as well being too low, and it's going to appear later. If you want Predator to be higher than 11,
If you want Predator to appear in one of the top very, very small numbers of all time,
Yeah.
then you're going to need to vote with your conscience, and also remember that Batman in its own right is solid choice for number 11. You've got Michael Keaton, the best Batman. You've got the Vicky Vale character of Kim Basinger, when the heroine was actually, believable in a Batman story. You've got Jack Nicholson, the best Joker ever to grace cinema. Yes, Heath Ledger's Joker is, bless his soul,
better,
is iconic and very well written. So Heath Ledger.
He makes the Jack Nicholson one look like a silly cartoon.
Jack Nicholson.
He makes the Jack Nicholson Joker look like the Batman '66 Joker.
That's what
Cesar Romero.
Just remember, the Cesar Romero. Just remember what reference point. Jack Nicholson didn't have a grimy, gritty Heath Ledger one to compare himself to. He had Cesar Romero to compare himself to. You've got Tim
he
Burton,
was awesome at the time. Yeah,
you've got Tim Burton directing the whole shebang, and you've got that aesthetic. And what Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton and Tim Burton bring to the screen is going back to actual dark roots there, where the Joker is genuinely evil, where Batman genuinely does kill people.
Of course he does. When doesn't he kill people?
He definitely kills people. But you've also got the maniacal twist as well. You've actually got a Batman movie against the Joker where he does use the Joker toxin. He uses Smilex, the Joker toxin. So it's faithful to the lore. The original Batmobile. Growing up I would have been 9. Everybody wanted a Batmobile. And
it's the best Batmobile. It is.
It is the best Batmobile. It's no coincidence that a mere couple of years later, BMW released the Z3. And everyone said, I want the Batmobile.
I mean, before I start this poll, I know they're pleading the case that Predator might show up later, but could you live with yourself if Predator lost to a second-rate Batman film? It's not even the best of the Tim Burton Batman films, let's face it.
Predator cannot be locked. It cannot be allowed to live this low down the list. Predator.
Terminator is 16th.
Yeah.
Terminator is 16th, so I just whatever's going to happen at this point.
The American World Police didn't make it in. God.
Yeah. What is happening?
All right.
All I can say is I was
going live.
I was happy that RoboCop made it in because at least it guarantees that it's in there, even though it's not where I think it should have been. But Predator is going to stands the test of time. Even the special effects stands the test of time. There is no homophobia, no racism. There is one character-defining moment.
What do you mean, no homophobia?
They
say the F word.
One character-defining moment for Blaine, okay? But it's his character. He's a man.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Trump supporter. He's a redneck, okay? All right, that's his character.
What if it's Arnie's character in Commando that he says those things?
Because he's meant to be the hero.
Blaine's not meant to be a hero. He's one of the good guys.
Blaine ain't got time to bleed.
Ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, look, Predator's going to lose. Look, I gave up Aliens earlier because everyone thought The Matrix deserved to be as low as it did. I'm not going to give up Predator, but it looks like everyone has gone with the wrong decision.
No one voted. There was only 4 votes. I see 11 viewers and 4 votes.
It's because probably the people, maybe Will Trapp and Panji that have came into the chat don't know how. I don't know. It's one of the things.
If you guys don't know how to vote,
hang on a minute. Wait, if there was 4 votes, that's 1, 2, 3, and someone else. That means one other person voted. Yeah. Whitney, it better have been you. And if it was Whitney, then it must be that she knows.
Either way, Batman won, and I'm happy about that. So.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm disappointed with how few votes there have been. In case you guys don't know, it's too late now because that's the last one we're going to do
Whitney's
today.
like, what? I had to vote? Oh, okay, she voted Batman. Which
Batman. All right. Bulk's favoritism showing again.
It's not.
I mean, you would have lost anyway because there was 2 votes from me and Bulk.
Exactly. If it was just between us 3, it would.
I just want everyone to understand that Bulk voted Batman over Predator. Ignore the context. Ignore the context. He voted Batman over Predator.
If we were arguing,
so did I, and I would do it again.
Yeah. if we were arguing over, look, I'm not gonna suggest where anybody has put Predator in their lists, but let's just say it's somewhere in the top 10, in the very high up single digit numbers. Let's just say it's up there, like up there.
I mean, 9 of those numbers are single digit numbers, but yeah.
9 of them are single digit numbers, and some of them are smaller than others. Okay. Now, without being specific on which smaller one it is, Predator is one of those movies that's it just does stand the test of time, and I love it that it's a story of people against insurmountable odds, a small group of people, friends if you would, against insurmountable odds, and that there is no distinction between the fact that they're all from different backgrounds, they're all different races, they all have their different lives outside of being this super CIA team, no, not CIA team, but Special Forces team and whatnot, and you have
the CIA got pushing too many pencils.
And too many mushrooms.
What's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils? But you've got the archetype that has stayed with my fighting game career for all of my life, the honourable badass in Dutch. So it's someone you can get behind, and a group of people that find themselves in a bad situation that you could really get behind. You want Billy to make it off that bridge with the knife, okay? You know he's not gonna, but you just want him to. Yeah,
I've never really looked at it as like quite so deeply as that. I've always looked at it as like it's Arnie doing his Arnie thing with a load of awesome gory kills in it. What's not to love?
There's some, from a cinematic point of view. If you were critiquing the art in Predator, there's actually moments in there, quite a few of them, that are incredibly well thought out. When Dylan is searching for the Predator, you'll notice that Dylan and Mac, they're searching for the Predator. And look, I'm happy to say this now because no one's going to get this far on the YouTube replay, and I'm only talking to like 4 people, so it's fine. They can hear it again next week. There's a moment there where the camera deliberately is moved like this and zoomed in on them while doing the Hitchcock trick of moving the camera forward while bringing the focus back, so the background explodes behind them. Yeah. But it's also done this way, and it's to indicate that the fact that they're disorientated and that the Predator can clearly see them and they can't see him, and so on. And it's the same with Mac. When you see Mac, he's upside down. There's shots that you think he's not the right way up. He's being caught, and there's little things like that you will see, like the green blood on the leaf and all of this. There's some. If you go back and look at them with a very critical artistic eye, which I know that someone like Panda would be able to, you'd be like, that's really symbolic. That's incredibly well thought out. And let's face it, what is a guns and muscle movie?
If I was basing my list on criteria like that, I'd have stuff like Shawshank Redemption up there and all these other classics.
Yeah, but the fact that they managed to interweave them in a 1980s action blockbuster, this was like the summer blockbuster, and they managed to interweave it into there, is nothing short of a masterpiece.
Speaking of amazing shots in Predator, my favourite shot by far is the one where just before Mac dies, just before he has his head exploded like some sort of melon,
like a watermelon, basically.
Yeah. If you pause it and freeze frame it on the DVD, just on the shot of his head actually exploding, it is the most fake-looking human head you've ever seen in your life. It's actually hilarious, considering how good the special effects are in the rest of the film. Seeing that clear papier-mâché head that they just painted brown is so hilarious. That's one of my favourite shots. So if we're talking about detail in shots, that's one of them.
I think there's an even worse head than that in Alien. What's the black guy called in that gets killed? Because his head does the same thing. It looks, all of a sudden there's one frame where it looks like a pumpkin that they've just badly painted black, and it just explodes onto the camera because obviously the xenomorphs bit into his head and that. But that's the same thing. It always makes me laugh. If you pay attention, you can actually see it like cut and then explode.
Yeah. I only remember at this point from Alien. If I have to go back to it, but I probably will remember it over time. Obviously Ripley, Dallas, Captain Dallas. The android was... Well, it just wasn't Bishop. It was
Ash.
Ash. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ash.
Played
And
by
then
Bilbo Baggins.
then you've got the other three: the girl, the snarky guy, and the black guy, and I can't remember their names. I know the scene you're talking about. There's also that moment in Aliens when Dallas sees the alien in the ventilating shaft, and he turns the torch around. It's clearly a guy in a suit.
It's like,
And he literally, the guy goes, ah, like boom.
Yeah, he
gone.
just it's like it was a hug like that.
He does. I'm gonna hug you. Yeah, he does that. And it's
I heard there was
Parker.
a thing that with the
Parker
with
was his
the
name.
Parker.
yeah. I heard there was a thing that with the Alien films, they named the androids with alphabetical names. So you had Ash in the first film,
Oh.
Bishop in the second and third
that
film.
makes sense.
Cole, I think, was the droid in Alien Resurrection, played by Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Cole was her name, and then there was David in Prometheus.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of time for Winona Ryder for completely other reasons. Anyway,
Edward Scissorhands, yeah.
yeah. There's always that there's that archetype, like the Keira Knightley, Winona Ryder archetype, isn't there? Yeah.
My top 10 is so stacked, though. It's so stacked,
I'm
and,
just gonna
only
find
one
out.
of them has been locked in so far. So
Can we have a rundown quickly of what
Oh,
has
sorry.
been
Yeah,
locked
let's quickly
Yes.
recap because we've had 3 hours
Yes.
of furious action. Well, it hasn't been 3 hours because it took us half an hour to start. Anyway, so
This
in at
is a
25, I'll just say the winner or say all of them. I'll say
Just say the winner.
Say the winner.
Yeah.
Okay. Dread, 2012.
Look how smug he
he
was
couldn't have
about
said
that.
it more smugger.
Sorry. Dread, 2012. Right. 24. Upgrade.
You need to watch that.
I do need to watch it based on the fact that you managed to convince everyone to vote it in. I can't. Hang on,
Yeah,
I've got to
it's-
change the
it's
music. I haven't changed the music at all
Harps,
this
it's
stream.
cyberpunk in a thriller.
All right.
Thriller with a lot of violence.
23.
The trailer didn't show much in the way of like neon or anything like that. I mean, I guess
The synthwave style isn't necessarily.
yeah,
I guess, in
thematically it's like cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
23. Alien. We've just been talking about it.
It's
20
too low, but
20
that's my fault.
But you know, it beat Rocky 4. You know, and if Rocky 4 had to die, he dies. Right. 22.
Nice.
22. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse beating Lost Boys. I'm not preaching to the right age group, am I? 21. Back to the Future 2. Sorry, Back to the Future Part 2. Isn't
Yes.
it? It's called Part 2. Yeah. Beating a group of tank boys beating off some Germans, and in Fury and Casino Royale. 20. Total Recall. Good, great shout. I can't be unhappy about that. I
Yeah,
can be
definitely.
unhappy that Snatch lost out, which is another one, and Training Day.
I mean, it is what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. It is what it is at this point. Number 19, The Matrix.
It's staggering how low that is.
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind.
18, 300. Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty good, I guess.
This is your number 18, 300. Beating Inception. Good movie, that. And South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Number 17, Thor Ragnarok. Which
Everyone loves it.
Everyone voted for it to make way for Team America World Police to come up a little bit higher, and then disaster
And then
struck.
forgot.
And it also beat Sin City, which is a damn shame. Jessica Alba, you'll always be in my heart. We'll always have Paris. Right.
Fantastic Four is going to be his number one.
No way. No way. Hey, I'm not a groupie, man. We've had our times, me and Jessica. It's okay. 16. The Terminator.
That's too low as well.
I think that's a good place for it.
I think it's a great place for it. I think it's a great. Where did you have it
It's too
before
low.
that?
I had it 11th.
You had it 11. Oh, okay. But where did you have it?
It's not even in my top 25.
Oh, okay. But you had Total Recall, so and I didn't have Total Recall. 15. Spider-Man 2. Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Tobey Maguire's second entry into adulthood. 14, Monsters Inc.
I mean, I can't be mad at that. I love that.
I can't be mad at it. I told you that story about it. You know, it's a great movie. It's a great comedy that's survived, that helped us all the way through. But it meant that beat both mine and Harps's Running Man choice. Something that also beat Running Man, number 13, Jaws. Great movie.
I mean, that's great film.
It's a great movie. It's a movie of all time. It's like
it's
in cinema. It's not just a favourite. It's also one of the most important movies of all time, as a thrillers and suspense and monster movies go, all wrapped up into one fishy package. Right, 12, RoboCop. I'm glad it's there. It's Harps's. It's fine. It's okay. It's not a it's not a list waving competition. Come on. But it's RoboCop 87. It's a great place for it. It's not very far away from where I had mine either. Inglorious Bass Turds is not on the list. Okay. Isn't that what you are?
That's a favourite band.
Isn't that what? Yeah, the Bass Turds. Isn't that? It's okay, welcome to the stage, everybody. All the way from Seattle, it's your favourite grunge group, the Bass Turds. Nirvana, Pearl Jam, the Pixies, the Bass Turds. How could I forget?
Yeah.
Anyway, the Deathly Swallows. Good to see you there. It beat Dune. I sucked up. That sucks, but RoboCop's great. And then 11, it ended up being Predator vs. Batman, 1989 Michael Keaton version, and Batman took it. Let's go.
He shouldn't have taken it, but I understand why he did, because everyone knows Predator's going to be top 10 material. You might think I had Predator too low, but you don't know my top 10 though.
Damn, the Deathly Swallows in there. The Deathly Swallows. Harps looks like you've got a fan. Feel sorry about the guy in the top left. Looks like a pint of herbal tea. Kind of hot and refreshing. Oi!
Thanks. Yeah, I'll take it. I finally got my own simp.
And welcome to the chat. the Deathly Swallows. Great name. Love that name.
Yes, it is. I don't think any films from that franchise are going to be in the top 10.
So there you have it. That's our 11 to 25. Next Tuesday, 9:30. We'll make sure that we sort out our audio issues, and we'll have the man, the myth, the Tinder legend himself on my left here. Iroquois is going to make an appearance on camera. Okay, we won't have to just make do with his measly avatar. What can't do the man justice. Okay, he's far more butch than that. So we'll be doing that 9:30 next Tuesday, and doing the top 10. But all I'd like to say is, first of all, Harplarp and Panda, do you have anything to say before we disappear?
No, nothing off me in particular. I'm tired. I'm not even speaking English.
I don't know why, but I was kind of thinking. I thought for some reason, I don't know why, thought we'd be getting to our honourable mentions today. So I was fully expecting to cry on stream today with my tale of my final honourable mention, but that will have to wait until
we'll do that
next week.
We'll be doing that next time. Also, Irish said, I got to make sure I get my list in, and then he didn't. He came into chat and went to bed.
Maybe he's... I don't know.
He was here earlier. He did turn up.
He did turn up. We'll rip him.
Are we doing honourable mentions after we do 10 to 6?
Oh, he's there!
Are we doing honourable mentions from before 5?
I think we should have all of... what we did last time is we did from 10 to 6, then honourable mentions, didn't we? So
yes.
Should we do that again?
Do that again?
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
And that will also be where we will fit in our man Irish. Or unless Irish, you want to mention... No, let's do it that way. Let's do it that way.
Yeah.
Because last time we did Whitney. We all did Whitney last time in that interval. It was a very short interval, and all four of us had to make sure we accommodated Whitney last time. So,
I was going to say, choose your words carefully.
I never say.
I just want to point out the points are very close here. If this is a composition between us, me and Harps are on 6 and you're on 5 if I've added that up right, because we had some ties.
6, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's what I make. Yes, it's very close.
Yeah, because Bulk didn't just make a list full of games from the 70s. He thought I'll come up with some films that people actually know.
Well, no, I put in Dune. I think Dune is the oldest movie on my list so far. So far.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen it.
No,
but yeah,
there's
plenty of modern films.
In my top 10, there's... Oh, wait.
I think
top 10,
my
there are
number
two
one's
older.
my oldest. I've just spoiled it a little bit. But...
Your number one is oldest. Oh, really?
Alien. No, you already had that.
You've already had it.
Yeah. That was 23.
Yeah. Citizen Kane. No. All right, anyway.
Just stop trying to guess. You're going to ruin it.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Team Considerable Harpart. Make sure you follow him. He's going to be streaming some Resident Evil 7 in the next few streams.
My next stream is going to be Mortal Kombat, and then after that, we'll be finishing Resident Evil 7 VR.
Properly this time, not just get stuck in assault mines and go, hey, I thought we were starting in half an hour. Okay.
I didn't get stuck, I was interrupted.
Okay. Check out his YouTube.
Sorry for the interruption.
So much content coming out on Harplarp's YouTube channel. Please make sure you have a look in at both. Okay, then we've got Team Considerable Panda. YouTube first at the moment. He's still not right up there with the streaming at the moment. He's a busy man with kids going to school soon, as I am too. So he's got... there's a list as long as my arm, and I've got longer arms than I should do, actually. I've actually got freakishly long arms. Yeah, my arms are too long. Legit, my arms are too long. Okay, so it's one I've got. That's why I've been so successful in karate. Is I've just got an unnaturally long reach for such a short guy. So I end up in the lower weight classes and can reach everybody from across, the room.
You're Dalsim,
I'm Dalsim, yeah. All right. Anyway, I've got a list as long as my arm of videos I've got to catch up from Panda. He's got Road Rash. Okay, he's got Road Rash from the Mega Drive.
I love that game.
Video. Streets
I haven't
Rage.
seen the Sonic and Knuckles one yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Retro Sundays on its own should be enough for this man to reach 100,000 subscribers. Okay, so make sure you do that. And I'll be making sure my kids watch seminal games like Road Rash. There's no swearing in there, is there? It's alright, I'll watch it first.
There might be. Knowing me, there's probably a lot of swearing in there.
And then for those of you who are into that sort of stuff, you've got the weeb stuff, you've got Pokemon, and other things as well as like Tekken and Mortal Kombat.
I've got some Mortal Kombat videos coming out as well.
There you go. We don't worry about those because they don't get monetized. Anyway, no, I'm not. I'm
they actually are. 3 or 4 of them are monetized.
Yeah, I uploaded yesterday's Mortal Kombat video. I uploaded that yesterday. Today I uploaded the following 4 videos that are going to be going up throughout the week, and 2 of those 4 were demonetized and 2 were monetized. So I've requested manual reviews. I even cut the fatalities as well. I cut the screen off. I was like, cut that out, the fatalities, because I've got to make sure I'm actually adhering to their guidelines, which I am.
I don't bother cutting anything because I've only got 200 subscribers, so this is not going to make any difference. So if you've got anything, if you want to see blood and guts and gore, just look at something on my one. No, I'm joking.
Well, if you like Tekken, that is.
Yeah, if you want to see blood in Tekken.
There's no blood and guts and gore in Tekken, so.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway,
I leave the brutalities in my videos, so just saying.
Thank you, my co-hosts. It's been an absolute pleasure this evening. Thank you to our wonderful audience who have been voting away and have been tugging at our heartstrings all the way through. Thank you for staying up with us for the 3.5 hours we've been on air. We shall see you as a group next week on Tuesday. In the meantime, I guess I should have said this a long time ago. There's a couple of events happening this weekend that I really should have advertised. Oops. Anyway, I'll mention it on Twitter or something. Alright, you crazy kids, take it easy in there because we want to see you next week and get your voting fingers out. Be careful at the maskers hugging parties, whatever you do, take all necessary precautions. If the bed falls through, we shall all see you in the spring. GG's as always, and ciao for now. I'm going to leave you with the best thanks for watching screen you're probably going to see on a podcast this evening. Take it easy, people.